the blue shirts and the red socks for France. So, victory will take England top of the group. If they slip up and drop more points, as they have already done in this qualifying campaign against Sweden, they will be up against it, the reigning European champions, to qualify automatically from this very tough group. Only the top two go through automatically, the bottom two go into the playoffs. Republic of Ireland are playing Sweden as well this evening, and we'll keep you up to date with that scoreline as Cascarino wins it early on for France, left on side of the penalty area, blocked away by Millie Bright, who made the error. Perhaps a bit of rustiness there. She's played for Chelsea over the last couple of months, but her first England start since the end of October. And France have an early corner, and Mary Earps has an early issue. She's gone down, winning her 50th cap for England, and France will just have to wait to take this set piece. Karen Bardsley.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. That was definitely off the ball, Vicky. I don't know if you managed to see anything. Certainly was unexpected. Whether or not it's just an opportunity to get, a bit of tactical reorganization off the back of that wayward pass from Millie Bright. But yeah, very, very strange way to start the game.
So Earps is still down, all in bright orange. So we can take you through the lineups. Earps it is in goal, winning that 50th cap for the Lionesses. The back four of Lucy Bronze, Leah Williamson the captain, Millie Bright and Jess Carter. Ahead of them, Georgia Stanway, Kira Walsh and Ella Toone, with Beth Mead, Alessia Russo and Lauren Hemp up top.
Just managed to see a replay there, and off the back of that pass, I think Mary Earps seemed to kind of catch something, and whether it's in her left foot when she was planting to make that pass. Could potentially be a hip flexor.
Yeah, let's bring Carly Telford in here, former England goalkeeper, alongside us with Karen Bardsley. Carly?
Yeah, I was just a little bit nervous before the game. Ritan, who's the doctor, was stood next to her during her warm-up, so it could be something that she was carrying maybe on from maybe training yesterday or whatever. But like you say, it was just the ball kind of went out of play, and Mary just looked like she stepped just to kind of have a conversation with Millie, and something just didn't look right. So she went down pretty quickly, which is never a nice thing when there doesn't seem to be any kind of action going on. But yeah, it looks like it's a hip flexor, and the two goalkeepers are out warming up now. So hopefully it's nothing too bad, but it's never nice when it's off the ball.
Yeah, she is still down receiving treatment, Mary Earps, and both of us have spoken about goalkeepers going down, but never this early in a game to waste time, as Mary is helped back to her feet, and the huge roars around St James's Park will tell you that she is now standing, but she still looks as though she's moving gingerly. Karen Bardsley.
I think this is a crucial moment for Mary, in the squad as well, because I think, Carly, we both have been in this situation where you pick up an injury and you kind of have to take into consideration, what's best for the team. Like, do you want to stay on the pitch and kind of be involved? Obviously you do, but is the best thing really to kind of,
but also as well, are the goalkeepers ready? So that's the thing, is Mary kind of trying to see if she can get over this next couple of minutes and give the girls who have to warm up and get ready for it, because it is one of those things, as much as the selfish person within you wants to play and be part of it, it's about the team. Exactly. So Mary will kind of be weighing that up along with the medics to try and work out what's best right now for everyone.
Well, they are still in conversation. The medical staff are still on the pitch as Mary rings around St James's Park once again. A near sellout crowds here. We've sold over 47,000 tickets. Were available right up until kick-off as well. And looking around, there are very few grey empty seats here at St James's Park, as France eventually will have the chance to take this corner. Looking for the early breakthrough here on 5 Live as Basher drives it in, powerfully headed away by Millie Bright, forward once more by Darley, but well intercepted by England, and then the curling shot over the bar from best part of 30 yards from Aston Villa's midfielder Kinza Darley. And Mary Earps has her first test. Let's see if she takes this goal kick. I don't think she's going to. She's not confident here, is she, in her fitness?
No, she seems to be moving all right, in terms of whether or not, if you take into consideration what the French are doing as well, they're definitely looking to press high, maybe set some traps. But yeah, whether she goes long or not, Mary Earps will test her hip flexor.
Yeah, I take it back. She does take it, although Williamson and Bright were there as an option. It's not the best clearance. It thumps straight into the head of Kinza Darley. He was 25 yards out, as France work it back to their captain, Wendy Renard, inside her own half. So France with Perrin Magnon, the former Arsenal goalkeeper, in goal. The back four of Lacroix, De Almeida, Renard, that tall, unmistakable figure of the France captain, and Basher makes up their back four. Teletti has started in the centre. Karshawi as well as part of a 3, and Dali. That's interesting. Karshawi is normally more of a wider player. It looks as though she might be playing in the attacking midfield role, but we'll have to see. And then that very dangerous front 3 of Diani, Katoto and Cascarino. Without their record goal scorer Eugenie Le Sommer, but Katoto has been an absolute revelation since breaking through in the past few years, as the flag is up against the aforementioned Marie-Antoinette Katoto. 28 goals she has in 37 games before this match, and Mary Earps has gone down again, and this Karen Bardsley really does not look good for England's number 1 on her 50th cap. This is a really upsetting start to the game for Mary Earps. It really is uncertain as to whether she'll be able to continue.
Yeah, it's disappointing. I mean, it's something that no one wants to see, obviously, but she tried to take that goal kick initially and didn't quite get the distance on it. The contact wasn't quite right, and then that clearance again, you could see that she was in absolute agony straight away. So as Carly alluded to earlier, the right thing to do for the team is probably make that substitution. Whether it's going to be Hannah Hampton, I imagine, is who we're going to see next. But yeah, in terms of just taking her time, making sure it's the right decision, give Hannah that opportunity to get warmed up, is the right thing to do, I think.
Well, she's up to her feet, but the medical staff are on. Captain Leah Williamson is over, having the conversation with her. And this is it, Carly Telford, I'll bring you back in as well, that, we know the competitiveness between Mary Earps and Hannah Hampton already in these qualifiers. Hannah Hampton has given the nod against the Republic of Ireland. Mary Earps got it against Sweden. But from a competitive point of view, this is the last thing that Mary Earps wants. Of course, if Hannah Hampton comes on, she'll want her to do well. But when she's having to fight for her place in a way that she hasn't really for a long time, she's been the undisputed number 1 for a long time under Serena Wiegmann. But this gives Hannah Hampton an opportunity.
Yeah, and we don't know if it is going to be Hannah. It looks like it. I can see Cara there just still bibbed up, so it looks like it is going to be Hannah. It's one of those things, right? You never want to come off in a game, and we know Mary's the ultimate competitor. I don't think the team helped her by giving her 2 back passes and her having to. But the thing is, when you see a goalkeeper injured like that, it's like, well, how do we take advantage? So they go full press, and then and also, but Mary doesn't want to make whatever it is worse. There's another game in 5 or 6 days. There's another 2 in huge games in next month. So she doesn't want to make it worse either. So there's a bigger picture here for Mary. But it gives Hannah Hampton a chance. And like you say, as a goalkeeper, sometimes you wait for these moments for a long, long time. Hannah's had a great season at Chelsea, and hopefully there's not a lot of change when it comes. You've got that reliability, not as much experience, but look, this is where you gain experience. These are the moments you wait for as a goalkeeper, and now she gets to prove why she's waited so long to have this moment.
Well, she looks really upset, Mary Earps, as she comes off and is replaced by Chelsea goalkeeper Hannah Hampton. And it's the cruelty as well, just how it is, the vagaries of football, that it happens on her 50th cap, such a special occasion for her. But it ends this game for her in the opening 7 minutes. She's off, Hampton is on, as Lauren Hemp has the ball down the left-hand side for England. Goalless. We say 7 minutes gone. There's been very little action so far as De Almeida clears that ball away at the back for France. There's been a goal elsewhere in this group. Sweden have taken the lead away to the Republic of Ireland. That was a 7:30 kick-off. A reminder, France, Sweden and England all in the world's top 6. Only the top 2 go through automatically. So a huge name is going to head into the playoffs for the Euros. England hoping it won't be them as defending champions, but they could do with Ireland getting some sort of a result tonight against Sweden. Ireland, the big underdogs in this group. They've lost 2 of 2 so far as Diani clears away at the back for France, and the ball goes out of play for a France throw. Let's head for an update from the French Open. Abigail Johnson.
Well, we're going along with serve in the first set between Carlos Alcaraz, the world number 3, and Sebastian Korda, son of 1998 Australian Open champion Petter Korda. Alcaraz, the favourite to come through this match. He won the meeting between the pair here in Paris a couple of years ago. But Korda's holding his own. It's 4-all. He's on serve, 15-all, looking to come up the court and try and shorten the points. Alcaraz going to hope to put his experience into play here.
Here comes Basha, delivery into the penalty area. It's over the head of Diani. And Lauren Hemp will chase her, but Diani is too strong. Nifty footwork as well out on that right-hand side from the Lyon attacker. Nice interchange of passes with Aston Villa midfielder Kenza Dali. And Dali now has it, hugging that right-hand touchline. De Almeida, who started at right back with Lecras in at centre half for France. Those two can play. in both positions, but that's the way that manager Hervé Renard has set them up today. He incidentally is suspended. He's here in the stands at St James's Park. He got sent off in their last match against Sweden. Late winner from Renard. That sees France with a 2-from-2 record in this group so far. That's why they sit top, and they're yet to concede as Karshawi's strong thumping challenge retains possession for France just inside the England half, and France send it back to Basha just inside their own half.
France are looking extremely confident, wouldn't you say, Vicky, especially down the flanks. Getting a lot of joy in this near side with Basha getting wide, Karshawi, and then Cascarino as well, finding the space.
Well, as we enter the 10th minute here at St James's Park, applause ripples around for Leah Harrison, just 10 years old. She tragically lost her life in a mudslide while on a school trip earlier this month. She loved the Lionesses, Leah. She dreamed of becoming one. And on the screens here at St James's Park, there is a picture of Leah, and it says, "For Leah, forever a Lioness." Our thoughts very much with Leah's family and friends at this desperately sad time. Millie Bright in possession for England. We'll send it all the way back to Hannah Hampton, closed down by Katoto, and Hampton will send it out to Leah Williamson, the England captain, who brings it forward. There were questions. This was the first time that Leah Williamson and Millie Bright were named in the same squad since Bright deputised for Williamson at the World Cup, taking the armband with Williamson out injured as Lucy Bronze plays the ball forward. Georgia Samway running onto it, but Renard will shepherd it back to Peyro Magnon. Right decision for you to keep Williamson as captain, Karen Bardsley?
Well, I think she's certainly earned it. You know, it's no fault of her own that she's been out of the squad through injury. I think the thing that I'm most concerned about was dropping Alex Greenwood, to be honest.
Yeah, interesting that Jess Carter's been given the nod at left back. Greenwood had been filling in at centre half as England win a free kick midway through the France half. England playing from left to right in this first half here at St James's Park. 11 minutes gone. It's goalless in this key Euro 2025 qualifier. England, of course, the reigning champions, looking to defend their crown in Switzerland next summer. But they are in a very tough group. Automatic qualification is by no means assured. This game here at St James's Park on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, and the away trip to France on Tuesday could be pivotal. So Beth Mead to send this free kicking. Bright was up there. Renard towers above her and wins the header, the France captain. And Jess Carter will pick it up, and the orange boot sends it forward. Flag stays down. Mead can't bring the ball down out of the sky, and it bounces behind for a France goal kick.
That's a lovely ball in from Jess Carter, and well recognised as well. There's loads of space in behind that fullback, as the French back four were quite narrow, and that channel opened up for Beth Mead, but unfortunately just couldn't bring it down in time.
So Pauline Perrot-Magnon will take this goal kick for France, all in bright yellow. As we say, Hervé Renard, after being sent off in that victory over Sweden, is in the stands here at St James's Park. He's got a fascinating story. He's had a lot of success internationally in the men's game, particularly at the Africa Cup of Nations. First coach to win the Africa Cup of Nations with different countries. Won it with Zambia 2012, one of the biggest upsets in AFCON history. Also won it in 2015 with the Ivory Coast. And you might remember that victory that he masterminded as the manager of Saudi Arabia over Argentina at the World Cup in 2022. Argentina, of course, then recovered from that defeat in the group stage to go on and win the tournament. As Millie Bright has it just outside the penalty area, sends it back to Hannah Hampton, who steers it away from Katoto. It's goalless here, 13.5 minutes gone. But he had a career in the lower leagues in France, Hervé Renard. When he retired, he worked as a cleaner for 8 years. He really wanted to get into football coaching, and he was doing all of that on the side, doing his coaching badge as well. First of all, being a cleaner and then starting his own cleaning business, and then he finally got his break. And international football has been where he has enjoyed his greatest success. First job in the women's game, and he's hoping to help France do what they've never done before, despite all their promise: win a major trophy and get to a major final, if you're not counting the Nations League final. As Mead loses out for England, and here comes Karshawi on the halfway line, sends it out to the right-hand side, and Diani runs into trouble in the shape of Jess Carter, and Leah Williamson will clear over the halfway line. Good interception by Leclerc ahead of Alessia Russo, and the ball goes out of play for an England throw on halfway. Still goalless, Karen Bardsley.
I think this is just a fascinating game. We're seeing a lot of really interesting battles already, but France look like they're certainly confident, particularly around overloading that midfield space. Seeing a lot of boxes, especially 4 in the midfield, outnumbering our England 3.
Here they come down the left-hand side, England. It's Russo on the edge of the area, pulls the ball back across. It's well intercepted by Leclerc and will be picked up by Kinzadali. Aston Villa, she spent the last 5 years of her career playing in England with West Ham and Everton, and now Villa. She's dispossessed. Stanway and Mead between them, and then Dali pulls back Mead, and the whistle goes from our Spanish referee, Marta Huerta de Aza. It will be a free kick to England, third of the way inside the France half. Do you feel they're just growing into the game here, England, Karen?
Yeah, certainly. I think things like that, what we've just seen where Georgia Stanway's really kind of being petulant and trying to win the ball back and double teaming alongside Beth Mead is going to be huge, because the French definitely hate that.
Here goes Lauren Hemp down the left-hand side, but she can't reach that ball, and Pedro Magnon again, quick reactions out to gather.
Yeah, she's well off her line. She's shown that already, that she's happy to anticipate. It's a good starting position for Magnon.
Former England goalkeeper Karen Bardsley with us. We've also got former Lioness goalkeeper Carly Telford as part of our 5 Live team here this evening at St James's Park, as Pedro Magnon sends it out to the right-hand side once again, and Leclerc out to De Almeida. Back to Leclerc once more, just outside her own penalty area. As you mentioned, that Nations League final for France, they lost to the world champions Spain back in February. The ball rolls all the way through to Hannah Hampton, but that's been the big question about France, hasn't it? Particularly under their manager Corinne Diacre, who was sacked 15 or so months ago. But there were constant rows between players and manager, and France were their own worst enemies many times as they play the ball into the area. Poor delivery. And Lucy Bronze, who became the first English player to win 5 Champions Leagues last weekend, picking it up for the second time with Barcelona. She won 3 with Lyon as well, so knows so many of these players so well. She shepherds it behind, and it's a goal kick to England. Under a bit of pressure inside their own penalty area, but they do work their way through it, and Walsh sends it out to the left-hand side, and Jess Carter will play it forward. Hemp is adjudged to not have kept that in, and it will be a throw to France on the far side. Let's get an update from the Premiership semi-final, Northampton Saints against Saracens. Sarah Orchard.
Thanks ever so much, Vicky. Yeah, what a humdinger we're playing here. Humdinger, I should say ding-dong more like. Northampton 10, Saracens 6. It is so tense here. A try for the Saints through Odendal in the centres. Saracens thought they had scored, but then had it chalked off after Jamie George was deemed to be offside. And in front of us at the moment, the Saints have got a penalty from a scrum. It's Northampton 10, Saracens 6, 29 minutes played.
Thank you, Sarah. Commentary continues over on 5 Sports Extra. That big ooh you heard was because Lauren Hemp has been flattened, and England have a free kick outside their own penalty area. 0-0.
Yeah, she's usually absolutely getting battered like that, isn't she, in the WSL?
Elsewhere in this group, Sweden are still leading by a goal to 0. Away to Ireland, that match in added time at the end of the first half. And elsewhere, it's 1-1 between Germany and Poland, and goalless between the Netherlands and Finland. Those in other Group A matches. France in possession midway through their own half, as Toletti will play it back to Leclerc, and then she goes all the way back to Pedro Magnon. And Wendy Renard picks it up outside the penalty area. Basher now over the halfway line. Cascarino will chase. She's up against Lucy Bronze, and Bronze does well. Cascarino's got real pace. Bronze at this stage of her career doesn't, but she used her body well. Shepherded the ball, but England play the ball into their own penalty area. A little bit risky there. Hampton though, long clearance over the halfway line, headed forward by Renard, and Karshawi picks it up for France, and Toletti will send it all the way back to Renard.
I've been really impressed with Hannah Hampton, and when she's come on, it's been quite, a shock to come in such an atmosphere, in such a situation against an opponent like France, but she's settled in beautifully. Some excellent passing into the midfield that goes unnoticed by so many, but looks really, really confident.
Yeah, if you're just joining us here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, Mary Earps on her 50th cap, going off injured within the opening few minutes, so Chelsea's Hannah Hampton is on, as Leah Williamson steers the ball all the way back to Hampton. It's been an interesting season for Hampton. 23 years old. She spent much of it as Chelsea's number one after breaking into the side in December, but she lost her place towards the end of this season, just as it came about from an England perspective that she looks as though she might just be pushing Mary Earps. I think Earps is still the undisputed number one, and we saw that with her starting today. But Serena Wiegman, not just rotating for rotation's sake against Ireland, it was very clear that, you know, Hannah Hampton has done well in training and deserved her chance to start in that victory over Ireland last month. England have 4 points so far from their opening two qualifiers, a draw with Sweden at Wembley and the victory away to Ireland as Des Carter steers it forwards. Toon is appealing for a decision there. It's not given, but England's still in possession. Mead dinks it forwards to Bronze. Really nicely played, and Bronze's delivery in is well played by Pero Magnon, and that is good defending from Delphine Cascarino as well, the winger, getting back and just doing enough to put Lucy Bronze off.
Yeah, it was great recovery there, getting just across her body in front of Lucy Bronze to make it difficult. But for me, what's been most impressive is that these midfield runs coming from Ella Toon in that half space, really timing them well for that delivery and giving the fullbacks for France an issue, whether I stay or whether I go.
France in possession with Renard just outside their own penalty area. Speaking of Ella Toon, do check out all the episodes of the Tooney and Russo show on BBC Sounds. They are best mates, and it is such a good listen to hear them chatting away together as France come down this right hand side with Diani. Williamson across, clears out of play, got a touch off Diani as well, and that will be an England throw. And you can check out the episodes of the Women's Football Weekly as well on BBC Sounds. The latest is Ellen White in conversation with Steph Houghton after her retirement. Two England legends. Don't miss it. Check it out on BBC Sounds as England have this throw level with the edge of their own penalty area. It's goalless here in Newcastle. 21 minutes played in this first half. A match that, although we'd just be at the halfway stage of qualifiers, I mean, this is a match England have to win.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, this is that crucial turning point, as you said earlier in the show. I mean, the first two obviously go through in the group, and the other two go down to the playoffs. And currently, you know, France is sitting at top of that group, and it's important, it's imperative that you know, England get a result from this game.
So Lucy Bronze in possession for the Lionesses, just inside her own half, and she squares it to Leah Williamson on the halfway line. Played forward now to Ella Toon on the turn, good covering by De Almeida, but Russo gets there, tries to squeeze it back to Toon. McGrath gets the foot in, but England have worked it out to the left-hand side, and Hempen Toon is in there and drags the shot just wide of the far post with Pero Magnon stranded. Oh, that should have been 1-0 England. It was beautiful, beautiful football up until the finish.
And Alessia Russo does so well to pick up that second ball and find that space for Lauren Hempton running behind it. It's just so unfortunate that that's just dragged wide at the last minute. But you're absolutely right, Vicky Sparks. I think Pero Magnon in that French goal was absolutely left unawares of Ella Toon in front of that goal. She had no chance. If that was on target, bang, back of the net.
So close to the bottom corner, but from an England perspective, the wrong side of the post. Took it first time, Toon. Right decision. She was being closed down, but just dragged the shot a little, and it bobbled agonisingly wide as France win a throw over on the far side. Let's head to the French Open. Abigail Johnson.
Well, world number 28 Sebastian Korda just got the biggest applause of the evening. Stretch volley winner off a tweener pass, but he is down a set. World number 3 Alcaraz leads 6-4.
Potato putting Millie Bright under pressure, but Bright does well, gets the foot in and clears out of play for a France throw. It is so tense here in the northeast inside St James's Park. At one point England on top, then France come down the other end. Finally poised midway through this first half. It's goalless here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as Carter clears away, gets the touch of De Almeida as well, and England had the throw. Let's bring in Carly Telford, former England goalkeeper, alongside us. Carly, what have you made of this first quarter of the game?
I think both teams are still trying to find their feet. I think we had a long delay. Like I say, we're nearly halfway through, but we've probably got about 5 or 6 minutes behind technically in where we are in the game. Both teams were a little bit nervy, seemed a little bit, no one's really got any shots away. Elatoon got half a shot away, we can argue, didn't connect with it very well. It was nice. It's always nice as a goalkeeper when you come on for Hannah to get some nice passes in, settle down, not be under the cosh straight away. So I feel like the back four really helped her with that and getting her into the game. But it's quite evenly poised. A lot of battles in the midfield. You can see Kachawi working hard to try and find pockets of space. But again, England trying to work things down by Mido going inside the pitch and Stanway making runs in behind. But it's just not quite clicking at the minute for either side. And a lot of the game is being played in the middle, and that's where a lot of the battles are.
France have a throw with Basher on this near side midway through the England half. I'm not sure that ball had gone out from Lucy Bronze before she cleared it off Basher. France have played it back to Wendy Renard anyway, and they will have to build from the back. France who picked up their 300th win in their history in their last match against Sweden, also their first ever away victory against Sweden, and Hervé Renard having taken over from the controversial Corinne Diacre back in March 2023 is looking to continue to build this incredibly strong France side. But the key is going to be how much has their mentality changed. As we say, they've never won a major trophy. They reached the Nations League final, but never the final of a major tournament. But they have the talent. We've known that for years. Wendy Renard has known that as well. The captain steering it back to Pauline Perrault-Magnon. 0-0 here, 25 minutes gone. Let's head for an update from the Rugby League. Matt Newsom.
Yeah, 17 minutes left of the first half in this one. It's England-France here, and it's France who've got the advantage in the shape of Perpignan-based Catalan Dragons. They lead Saints. It was a try made in England, though. Hull-born Jordan Abdul teeing up Tom Johnston. It's Saints 0, Catalan 6.
Thanks very much, Matt. Here at St James's Park. England against France in this Women's Euro 2025 qualifier. We're still goalless as Lauren Hemp plays the ball straight out of play. And it will be a throw to France. The way that they have changed qualification, the reason that this group is so hard, has made qualifying campaigns far less routine for England, as France in turn send the ball straight out of play, and it's an England throw. You have to go back all the way to June 2000 for the last time that England lost a Women's Euro qualifier. They are unbeaten in their last 28. It was an 8-0 loss to Norway. But the games that they played over that time, in the way that the Lionesses have come on during that time, I mean, the calibre of opposition, you just didn't face it in qualifying campaigns until the shake-up of qualification over the last couple of years with the Nations League. This is a very different prospect. This is a France side who are only a place below them in the world rankings. A France side who have 100% record so far, 2 wins from 2, and they're yet to concede 1-0 victories against Sweden and Ireland. And it's goalless here. It's tight. It's tense. As Lauren Hemp brings it down the left-hand side, lays it off to Elatoon, who's had England's best chance of this half, dragging a shot wide. And really, it should have been 1-0 to the Lionesses as Leah Williamson picks it up, sends it out to the left-hand side once again, and Jess Carter, lovely ball, bit of skill forward to Lauren Hemp, good challenge by De Almeida, and England have the throw. Karen Bardsley.
I love the directness that Millie Bright brings. I mean, there's been a lot of patience and build-up and a lot of short passes, but then Millie Bright recognises where the space and hits it straight away, and then they're on the counter, really.
On the turn inside the area, and the shot across goal from Alessia Russo on the tightest of angles as Beth Mead watches on. Wasn't quite a crot.
No, I think the fine margins around decision making are things that have caught England out in the past, and I think situations like that where the space is available on the edge of the area, especially with someone that's massive like Wendy Renard, anything has to be on the ground in the box for me.
Yeah, England have height, but France really have height. With Wendy Renard, she's over 6 foot. She towers above any back line, any attacking formation in the women's game. As De Almeida prepares to take this throw, the France right back on the halfway line, forward to Karshawi. Good foot in by Stanway. She's challenged by Katoto, and the ball goes out of play for an England throw. Lots made before this game of this front three for France. Delphine Cascarino and Caridiatu Diani of Lyon and Marie-Antoinette Katoto of Paris Saint-Germain. What have you made of them so far, Karen?
I think it's been great. I think Katoto is doing well, working the shoulders of both centre backs, making it difficult to find out where she is and keep track of her. She's working in blind spots. I think Diani's been exceptional on that far side. There's a lot of fluidity. Both wide players are changing flanks.
Quick throw for England again. I don't think Bronze let that run out before it was taken, but the assistant says it's fine. Wendy Renard has won the ball back inside the area, and that's a great ball to find Karshawi. She's surrounded by 3 white shirts, plays it back to Diani, who clears, little deflection, almost picked up by Hemp on the edge of the area. Brave defending at the back by Lecras for France as they look to counter, but Kira Walsh is there, also part of that Champions League winning side with Barcelona last weekend to intercept, and now comes Hemp down the left-hand side for England. Ball into the penalty area, misses everyone. Stanway almost onto it. Mead takes a touch and makes no mistake with the second. Beth Mead buries it back in the northeast for Mead, and she fires England in front against France at St James's Park. 1-0.
So fortunate for Beth Mead that ball happened to squeak through, but it was an excellent cutback. Lauren Hemp down that left-hand side, and Mead composed, finds that opposite corner and tucks it away. And boy, listen to that, what a sound from this fan base in Newcastle. And again, what a pass, picks up well Ella Toon in that space, finds Lauren Hemp down the left, lovely little pullback, fantastic little tackle, but Beth Mead is there and she's ready to belt it in the back of the net.
She's on the front of the programme tonight. She's a North East lass, maybe for Sunderland as opposed to Newcastle, but my word, she is popular in these parts, and that will have made a huge amount. Carly Telford, let's bring you in on that Beth Mead goal.
Yeah, it was fantastic. You know what it is when it comes to that balance at the back, and you have a Millie Bright and a Leah Williamson. The pass from Leah Williamson is what starts that goal off. It is fast, it is pure. She finds Ella Toon in that pocket. Ella gets a great turn, gives it into Hempel. We know how good Hempel is, and then it's just about bodies in the box. Yes, there's a little bit of luck as it finds its way to Meadow, but put Meadow in that position, she's going to finish it all day. So fantastic goal for England, back to what we're used to seeing, but also the noise afterwards. It was fantastic to hear. There's so many fans excited to see what this Lioness team can do, and for me that was back to Lionesses doing what they do best.
England with the ball inside their own penalty area. Bright scoops it out to her Chelsea teammate Jess Carter, who's away down the left-hand side. As England look to add a second, and Hemp, who has looked England's most dangerous player every time she breaks down the left, on the ball once again. Lovely little 1-2 as Walsh squeezes it forward. Carter's on the move. Sliding challenge by Karshawi is a brilliant one. Goes to ground, wins the ball, wins the free kick as well. And let's head back for an update from the Premiership semi-final. Sarah Orchard.
Half-time, Northampton 16, Saracens 6. Just one try for the Saints through Odendal, but it has been so edgy. It is so tense here. Saracens no tries yet, but still 40 minutes of rugby to play. It's Northampton 16, Saracens 6.
When the second half resumes, there will be commentary over on 5 Sports Extra with Sarah and the team. Here at St James's Park, England with the breakthrough against France in this huge Women's Euro 2025 qualifier. As it stands, England heading top of the group. A reminder that Sweden are still leading away to Ireland at a 7:30 kickoff. So Sweden, another of the big names in this group, picking up points makes it even more imperative that England get a victory here. And they are leading by a goal to nil as Basher will leave that ball and England will take a free kick just outside their own penalty area. But just going back to Beth Mead, Karen, she has scored more goals for England under Serena Wiegman than any other player as England played themselves into trouble, and Hannah Hampton has to clear under pressure, and she wasn't able to get to that ball quickly enough, and it's gone out for a corner. Well, let's come back to Beth Mead in a moment, because England's defending over the past year or so really has been lackadaisical at times. It costs them against Sweden in the opening qualifier, and that is just after you've scored at the other end. You can't make those sort of errors and just hand France a corner on a plate for no reason.
Yeah, it was a little bit disappointing. I think Serena Wiegman alluded to it in the previous game as well, around making little mistakes and errors and wrong decisions, and I'm afraid that was one of the wrong decisions.
So Basher takes this corner, drifted in, the header towards goal. Brilliant save, Hampton. Oh, That's outstanding. And England prevent the corner as well. Lacroix was up from the back with the header. It's gone out for a France throw. That is absolutely world-class goalkeeping from a goalkeeper who only came on in this game because Mary Earps went off injured.
That's tremendous from Hannah Hampton. Oh my goodness, she was full stretch, and it was a fantastic header from Lacroix as well at that far post, but Hannah Hampton does well to get across, accelerate into the ball and get both hands behind it for that save. Brilliant stuff.
Ball's gone out of play for an England throw. Carly Telford, let me bring you in on that.
I mean, I'm lucky enough to have worked with Hannah and seen what she's capable of, but finally you get 50,000 people and whoever's watching on TV seeing what she's capable of too. If you had any nerves or were nervous about Hannah Hampton, I don't think you are anymore. Yeah, she's fantastic, and she's able to fill in Mary's boots, but they're big shoes to fill, so I'm no doubt she was full of a few nerves, but yeah, she's played in front of lots of fans before, lots of pressure moments at Chelsea, and she's made for these kind of games now.
Possession changes as it hits our referee Marta Huerta de Aza, so England will have a drop ball. Yep, she's played in Champions League semi-finals this season for Chelsea in front of huge crowds, but that was a big save in a big game for England. It keeps it at 1-0 to the Lionesses with 10 minutes to play until half-time.
I think as a keeper, it's one of the best ones to make. When you say, Carly, I mean, fully stretch, you get to spring a little bit. You know, that's going to be a lovely little photo down the line. I'm sure it's going to be on the mantle.
She probably should have caught it, really, to be honest. Right? No, I'm kidding. No, it's fantastic. They're the ones you dream of. There's corner saves, those full stretch moments. Great for the camera, and I'm sure that'll go on Instagram later on if they win, or when they win.
So Karshawi in position for France, midway through her own half. England 1, France 0 here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. We'll have commentary on Tuesday from St Etienne as France host England in the reverse. This double header really does feel pivotal for England's chances of qualifying automatically in this very tough group. They've got to finish in the top 2. Sweden, France and England will all believe not just that they can finish in the top 2, but they can win the group. They're all in the world's top 6. Somebody, a big nation, is going to be heading into the playoffs. England doing their best to make sure it's not them, as Katoto under pressure, dispossessed by Mead. She then tumbles, so does Mead. Stanway brings it away for England, and now Walsh inside the centre circle. Toon lays it off to the left hand side, and the confidence is now flowing through the veins of these Lionesses as Hemp plays it forward to Jess Carter. Cascarino back there defending for France, so Carter will send it back to Hemp, and now Walsh wants more, and Walsh happy to go all the way back to Leah Williamson, who plays it out to the left hand side. Hemp on the stretch, won't keep it in, and again we've seen it from France as well, but just a little bit of sloppiness there in England's play.
You beat me to it. I was just about to say we've seen sloppiness from both sides, but what I was really enjoying was watching Alessia Russo work the shoulder of Wendy Renard. She's getting in that position where Renard cannot see both the player and Russo at the same time.
Here comes Beth Mead, the goal scorer, down the right-hand side for England. Plays it back to Lucy Bronze, and now will steer it to the left, and Kira Walsh in field now to Leah Williamson. And Walsh once more. Now Bronze in field to Mead, who's taken up that number 10 position. Lovely turn from Walsh under pressure from Kinza Dali. And Bronze will steer it all the way back to Leah Williamson. Out to the left-hand side, and Jess Carter, and now Bronze, who will go all the way back into her own half. Back to the Rugby League, Matt Newsom.
Yes, and Hans has squared it up. It was a try created by Jack Wellsby. No Johnny Lomax tonight, so he's had to take up that playmaking baton. Flicked an offload to Conrad Hurrell. He touched it down, and Saints are 6 apiece now with Catalan.
Here is Diani, challenged by Lucy Bronze, but it will break to Karshawi, and now Kenza Dali down the left-hand side. Millie Bright is there with her, and Dali will check and play the ball back to Selma Basha. They just look as though they've lost a bit of confidence since that England goal, France.
Yeah, they have, but England have certainly gained so much confidence as well. But yeah, France look like they're on the back foot a little bit, not quite as confident that the wide overloads are going to be successful as they usually are. But I think you hit the nail on the head. Both teams look a little bit sloppy in possession.
And Katoto's just committed a handball outside the penalty area, so it will be a free kick to England. England, who historically have had a very difficult time of it against France. They've only won 2 of their last 23 games against the French, but those 2 wins have come in their last 4 games, and although those stats kind of jump out at us commentator geeks, they haven't met since 2021. And I think that's the fascinating thing, trying to predict how this game would go, or these 2 games would go, the one in France away on Tuesday. They've just not come up against each other at major tournaments. A few near misses if other sides had not beaten France, or not beaten England, but this is a real test between two of the best sides in the world as Karshawi plays it forward, won't break for Katoto, but Karshawi keeps it alive. Cascarino now swings the ball into the area. Katoto's in there and fires over on the stretch from the edge of the 6-yard box. It was a difficult chance, she got underneath it, but her movement there was exquisite.
No, it was very, very good. As the ball went out wide, you can see Katoto checking the shoulder, the run in between, I believe it was Leah Williamson and maybe Kira Walsh as she was recovering. And if she would have had that on target, goodness knows what would have happened. But lots of space. We're getting caught in transition with England, and lots of space emerging on these opposite sides as well, like Diani working that left shoulder in behind Lucy Bronze. England have to be aware of that.
Jess Carter chests the ball down at left back for England and plays it to Leah Williamson. Well closed down by Cascarino. And Williamson's clearance is collected by Karshawi. France just clicking into gear in the last couple of moments, buoyed by that Katoto chance. Katoto, who has scored 20 goals this season for PSG. She's their all-time leading goal scorer. Basher works it down this left-hand side to Diani. Plays it infield to Dali, bit of space, lovely layup to Karshawi. Karshawi's ball in, it's ahead of Katoto. And Jess Carter clears away. They're appealing for a handball there, or that it's gone out of play, and they have eventually decided that it has gone out of play, so it's a France corner. Suddenly, France have picked up.
No, they have. You know, they're working this left side half space really, really well, but I have to say, Jess Carter manages to sort of feed out just in time before that ball went out for a went out in possession for a corner.
Yeah, it could have been a bit worse for England there. It is only the set piece, but again, the height of Wendy Renard is up from the back. The tall France captain Katoto as well is so good in the air. As the ball is swung in, it's De Almeida who gets the ball in. Oh, it's brilliant! Brilliantly controlled first time strike from Elisa De Almeida. Loops over Hannah Hampton. And we're all squared just before half-time at St James's Park. You have to praise the quality of that finish from the defender. We were all looking at the height, we were all looking for the headers, for the runners, and De Almeida peeled off everyone, cushions the first-time effort, and it loops over Hannah Hampton. It is a super volley, quality goal, 1-1.
That's an exquisite finish. You're absolutely right, Vicky. She pulls off Kira Walsh, and then she just connects with the ball with the inside of her right foot and just curls it into that opposite corner. What a technique that is.
I literally went, ooh la la. And thankfully I didn't say it out loud, but I mean, the technique on that, and it's almost the audacity to she's probably just trying to help it on. She's off balance and she's just trying to get it to that back post area, but she's connected so well. And as a goalkeeper, it's an awful place to be because you can see it going over your head. There's nothing you can do about it. It's a great finish, but I'm going to say this once, we've got to stop giving away set pieces. They are very dangerous, not just with Wendy Renard. They've got a lot of good technicians in there.
And really good deliveries as well as the ball goes out to the left-hand side in Jess Carter of England. I'm not sure she's going to thank you, Carly Telford, for suggesting she didn't mean that. De Almeida. I think she'll say she meant that all day long. A fourth goal for her country, but a finish that any striker, Katoto, Russo, anybody on this pitch up front would have been proud of us. Hemp comes down the left-hand side, well challenged by Dali on the edge of the penalty area, but England have won it back, and now Kira Walsh sends it forward to Ella Toon. She's looking for the runners. They aren't really there in the penalty area. Now Walsh will drive it in. Mead with a bit of space, chests it down, plays it forward, unselfish. Russo trying to get the ball out from under her feet, can't do so, can't keep it alive either. And Sondi Toletti will clear away. Williamson picks it up on halfway. 1-1, 3 minutes plus added time to play in this first half on 5 Live and BBC Sounds.
Oh, and Alessia Russo just needs to be a bit more composed. She's kind of throwing a foot out and not quite making that contact, but the opportunities are going to come. The Lionesses just need to trust the process, but yeah, just need to ride out this wave of momentum from the French.
So Millie Bright under pressure, plays it forward, looking for the run of Mead, won't reach her, won't reach Russo either. Pedro Magnon out very quickly and finds Basher, who lays it off to Pedro Magnon once again, and Beth Mead decides not to close down on that occasion. And Lacroix will pick it up and send it out to the right-hand side and to De Almeida, who has equalised with that quite beautiful finish. A volley that looped up from a corner over Hannah Hampton and makes it 1-1 as we head towards half-time. As Hampton plays it forward, Karshawi almost intercepted, but it does make its way through to Stanway. He turns away from Toletti and tries to feed him, but the ball was poor, and Almeida is there, and it's all the way back with Pedro Magnon.
What a fantastic pass from Hannah Hampton into the midfield to find Georgia Stanway on the half-turn. Georgia Stanway faces up and unfortunately just doesn't quite connect. But, I mean, this is the passing range of a very young goalkeeper, and it's very exciting to watch.
And you know what it does? It kind of brings their midfield closer together, so then gives the wide players more space. Once you start getting split in the middle, it's the worst thing. So everyone wants to tighten up, but then it gives Beth Mead, Lauren Help, hopefully more time and space.
Diani won't keep that ball in, and the ball goes out of play for a throw to England. Former England goalkeepers Carly Telford and Karen Bardsley here with us on 5 Live and BBC Sounds in this huge qualifier for the Lionesses. 1-1 with France. They've already dropped points at home to Sweden. England, France, the group leaders. They can ill afford, with the group as tightly contested as it is, with 3 huge names going for 2 automatic qualifying places, to drop points again at home, with Sweden away and France away to come. France away is on Tuesday. You'll be able to hear commentary of that with us on 5 Live. It's an 8 o'clock UK time kick-off as Carter sends the ball out to the left-hand side. In field now to Ella Toone. Toone under pressure, will steer it back to Millie Bright. Serena Wiegman watches on, and we wait to see how much added time there will be. And as was pointed out earlier, I think there'll be a fair bit because of that lengthy injury to Mary Earps. Earps unable to continue on her 50th cap as Hemp picks it up on the left-hand side of the penalty area. 5 minutes at a time. It looks as though will be signalled as Hemp's ball is over the head of Russo. It's cleared away by Basher at the back for France. 1-1 here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds in this Women's Euro 2025 qualifier as Diani and Bronze both take a tumble. Ball finds its way to Williamson, and Bright will play it forward now to Kira Walsh. Out to the right-hand side she goes, and Georgia Stanway, bit of space for the Bayern Munich midfielder on the right-hand side. Stanway plays the ball into the area. Difficult delivery. Pedro Magnon spilled it, just got enough on it, and it's hacked clear by France. As we enter 5 minutes at a time, and France coming forward. Oh, that's going to be a yellow for Carter. It's got to be. She's really pulled back Cascarino there. And Jess Carter, well, she's taken one for the team. France are fuming on the touchline. Williamson was back, so it's not denial of a clear goal-scoring opportunity. But if there was a borderline orange for those sort of pullbacks, because that's half an opportunity, isn't it?
Was it a blue card they were going to start doing?
Oh gosh, no, let's not do that. Let's do an orange card maybe. But no, it's not a red. There's other players back. But that's one of those where you say take one for the team. That was a great chance for Cascarino to break in there.
Absolutely, but also you've got to be more cautious at the back. We have to, if we're gambling with our wide players and our fullbacks, maybe Kira has to sit a little bit deeper and help protect that area, because anything into the front line, it's flicked on. They've got pace, they can get in behind us, they're fast. We've got to be very cautious with their counter-attacks.
So France with this free kick, third of the way inside the England half. It is just 3 clean sheets, incidentally, for England now in their last 14 games. It's concerning. As Renard wins that header, sends it towards Katoto. Williamson wins the header herself. Referee not really in a great position there. Diani makes a mess of the effort anyway. Complete swivel and miscue on the edge of the penalty area. Carter then fires it into Cascarino. Ball goes out of play for an England throw. And this is the thing, Karen, with Jess Carter on a yellow, she's playing at left back as well, so she is going to get Cascarino absolutely bombing down that right hand side. Diani as well if they cross over. Perhaps a little bit less leeway if you're playing at full back rather than at centre half, which is often where Carter will play. Look, she can play anywhere, but I'm saying you'd rather have a potentially on a yellow card at centre half than you would at left back facing a player like Cascarino.
Yeah, you know, if this French team has anything about them, they'll really target her now. I mean, we know that they're so quick in attack, and it'll be interesting to see how Jess Carter manages the next, well, until we get to halftime, which isn't very long now.
Yeah, 3 minutes of added time to play in this first half here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. 1-1 in this Women's Euro qualifier between England and France. England, of course, looking to defend their crown, the first major trophy in their history. They won on that glorious night at Wembley in 2022. But they've got to get to Switzerland first, and that is not a given. Cannot stress that strongly enough. It is a really difficult group. Only the top 2 go through, and a big name in France, Sweden or England is going to miss out. They're 3 of the 4 semi-finalists at the last Euros. That is how hard this group is. As Carter clears away. ball might bounce out of play. Hasn't in the end, and Toletti trying to shepherd it out of play eventually does so, and France have the throw. Karen Bardsley.
That's actually mad when you think about it. You know, there's 3 potential European champions in one group, and someone's not going to go through. That's just bizarre.
Yeah, they will go into the playoffs. The bottom 2 do have the playoffs to enter, so it's not qualify or bust, as it were, for England, and they would, of course, fancy their chances of getting through the playoffs, but it's not where they want to be. They want to be automatically through. They want to win the group. That'll give them the best seeding for the draw as well. And that's it. If you go through the playoffs, that affects the seeding for the final groups as well when it comes to the final tournament. Here is Lucy Bronze bearing down on the France penalty area. Good ball to find Mead. Mead inside the box, right hand side, goes for the curler. Brilliant save, Pero Magnon. That's outstanding. As good as Hannah Hampton from the Cra at the other end. Mead curling towards the corner. Pauline Pero Magnon got there. It's an England corner. It could have been 2-1 England so easily.
Wow, what a game. What a fantastic save from the French goalkeeper. But, you know, Alessia Russo bringing Lucy Bronze into play. She's striding down this near side, finds Beth Mead with a lovely little incisive cut inside to open up the goal and curls it. And you just think it's just going to nestle itself into the side netting. But big hand from Pero Magnon. Fantastic save.
So Mead is over to take this corner. She swings it high. Bronze is in there, misses the header. France can't clear it. Russo on the volley. Skews wide at the near post, edge of the 6-yard box. Another chance has gone for England. It's still 1-1.
And I think, look, you want to be impactful as a 9. You know, Alessia Russo knows that as an opportunity in front of goal, but that for me is not the right decision. There's too many bodies. It's a really narrow angle.
Bit of jet lag.
Oh, woof. Did you go there? Wow. Hey, well, you know what? This is the thing, right? I mean, not necessarily about jet lag, but we know that on the bench there's a fantastic number 9 in Aggie Beaver-Jones. Will we get to see her later?
Yeah, the Chelsea youngster, 20 years of age, could make her England debut in the squad after Rachel Daly's surprise retirement in April from international duty as the half-time whistle goes. What a half it's been. These are 2 of the very best sides in the women's game in world football, and they've showed that. It's been tight at times, it's been tense at times. We've seen some brilliant goalkeeping, we've seen some super goals. It's 1-1, Karen Bardsley.
Yeah, it's been a brilliant game, some great saves, some good goals, really exciting end-to-end stuff, midfield battles, battles all over in the midfield. It's just been a fantastic game with some really, really good technical class from both teams.
Carly Telford.
Yeah, it's been a great game to watch. I think everyone's kind of on the edge of the seat because it seems like there's a bit of a lull and nothing's really happening. Like, say, Bettles in midfield, and all of a sudden it comes to life down one end of the pitch. We've had 2 fantastic saves from the goalkeepers, which as goalkeepers we always love and appreciate, so big ups to them guys. But yeah, it's fantastic to see. There's a couple of, like, is it rustiness, is it jet lag, is it the girls just not being together for a while? You can see there's bits of rhythm starting to show, but also bits of rustiness. So I think they've got a half under their belt now. It'll be interesting to see how they come out second half.
Big second half to come, not just in the context of this game, but in the context of England's bid to qualify automatically for the trophy that they currently hold, the Euros next summer. It's in the balance. It's 1-1 here at St James's Park with France.
Thanks so much, Vicky. Perfectly poised game here, a really exciting first half, 1-1 between the 2 sides. Carly, I wonder, as we're sort of looking on, who's the side that's coming off and thinking we're in the driving seat there?
I think until probably France scored, I think we looked quite comfortable. Obviously Hannah's had to make a save and it's a bit unsettling having Mary off, but we looked quite confident. We were creating more. I think we were threatening more between the lines, and we looked good down both wings, but yeah, we didn't really capitalise when we were getting in their half. Whereas I think France, if you're going to come away, you're going to look for that transition. I think they've probably looked at some of our weaknesses with our fullbacks liking to bomb on and then tried to take advantage of that. But them scoring late on, you kind of could see it's a little bit of a dampener, not on just the atmosphere, but for the girls themselves. But look, they created a chance right at the end, and hopefully they can go in feeling confident.
You mentioned there between the lines, there's been some real joy for the Lionesses when they've found those pockets of space and managed to play through the thirds as well. How important is that going to be in the second half?
It's hugely important, but there's patience to it, right? Teams aren't going to give you that. That's the most precious part of the game. So they're going to stay compact as long as they can, the French are. But that minute it opens up, if we can move the ball quicker, if Millie can hit them large switches, which pulls teams apart, it's about waiting for the right moment like Leah did and then firing it through those gaps and exposing them when they're kind of misbalanced and disjointed. And that's where we're going to get our joy. But it takes patience. They're not just going to give us those spaces.
We'll come on to talk a little bit about Mary Earps slightly later on, but I just want to check in. Are you going to take back your shout for did she mean it for Almeida's goal?
What, now that you showed me it? A no-look shot, absolutely. I mean, she will claim it, but sometimes you know what it is, you just got to guide it into an area, right? And I think she's looked and thought, I'm just going to help this on. And that's no disrespect to her. Technique's unbelievable, and she's helped it on into the top corner of the net. And how much more she's ran off, celebrated, and that's what. Look, let's be honest, we all want to score goals like that. But yeah, it's a fantastic finish, and I'm sure we'll find out at the end of the game whether she truly meant it or not.
It is perfectly set up for the second half here. Just give you those other qualifier scores at the moment. Scotland currently leading 3-0 at home to Israel in Group 2. Wales 1-0 with Ukraine. Republic of Ireland 1-0 down to Sweden. All of those games are in the second half. Let's go to the latest news and headlines with Stuart Clarkson.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Thank you. Good evening. President Biden has presented a new initiative aimed at ending hostilities in Gaza. The three-phase proposal would involve a 6-week ceasefire, the release of hostages held by Hamas, and the resumption of negotiations. Our Middle East correspondent Hugo Bachega, who's in Jerusalem, says it's unclear how the Israelis will view the plan.
The Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has rejected any idea of a permanent ceasefire in Gaza before the end of the war. So it's very interesting that this plan has been announced by President Biden. He didn't mention Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And also, we know that this is very likely to be unpopular with some supporters, far-right supporters of the Prime Minister, who have rejected the idea of reaching a deal with Hamas.
Donald Trump has confirmed he will appeal against his hush money conviction, describing the trial in New York as unfair, a scam and rigged. A jury found the former president guilty last night of falsifying business records over payments made to Stormy Daniels. The Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer has said Diane Abbott can stand for the party in the general election. There'd been uncertainty about her future since she claimed this week she'd been barred from being the Labour candidate in her Hackney North and Stoke Newington constituency. Spain has fined 4 airlines a total of almost £130 million for charging passengers extra for hand luggage and specific seats. Doing so is a key source of income for the likes of Ryanair, EasyJet and others. Lisa Minnow is the Sun newspaper's travel editor.
You can take a free bag on all of these low-cost airlines. It's the one that has to go under the seat. The sizing of that is different for every single airline that are in this sort of fine that we've seen today. And then the size of the cabin bag that you have to pay for. So something you would put into the overhead lockers, sizing of that for each of those airlines is different.
And the Ministry of Defence says there'll be no Battle of Britain memorial flight during the D-Day commemorations next week, while an investigation into a fatal Spitfire crash continues. An RAF pilot died when his plane came down in a field in Lincolnshire on Saturday. The cause of the crash is still not known.
Radio 1's Big Weekend.
Big weekend, how we feeling?
Coldplay.
Your sky, blue sky.
Ray.
Back to the intro, back to the bar, to the Bentley, to the hotel, to my old way.
And Vampire Weekend. And many more. Radio 1's
Big weekend.
Watch on iPlayer, listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sport.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Half time here then at St James's Park between England and France. 1-1 in their Euros 25 qualifier. Second half commentary shortly with Vicki Sparks, Karen Bardsley and Carly Telford. But first, loads of other sport going on at the moment. Let's head to Roland Garros for the latest with Abigail Johnson. She's watching Carlos Alcaraz and Sebastian Corda. How's it going, Abigail?
Yeah, the night match continuing in this first day of third round action, and Sebastian Corda, he's giving these capacity crowds something to cheer about now, the world number 28. He's just held serve for 4-3 in the second set, saving 3 break points. A little more erratic than Alcaraz so far, but he has lost all 6 of his matches versus top 10 players so far in 2024, digging deep to try and turn it around tonight. So he's 4-3 up in the second set, but Alcaraz is set to the goods, 6-4 in the opener.
It's into the second half at Franklin's Gardens in Rugby Union's Premiership semi-final play between Northampton and Saracens. Live commentary right now on 5 Sport Extra. Sarah Orchard can update us.
Still no score yet in this second half. It remains Northampton 16, Saracens 6, 52 minutes played. It is so tense here at the Gardens. I'm surrounded by fans who are biting their fingernails. A 10-point game as Lewis Ludlam, the club captain, comes onto the field for the Saints. But I have to say, the Saracens' careers of the Vunipola brothers, Mako and Billy, are now off the field. Northampton 16, Saracens 6.
Half-time in Rugby League, Super League. Matt Newsom is watching St Helens against Catalan's Dragons.
Yeah, nothing between these two teams at the break. Saints 6, Catalan 6. It was an early score made by two England internationals that put Catalan in front. Jordan Abdul with a pinpoint kick to the corner. Tom Johnston latching onto it. Saints were a little bit scratchy, but eventually worked their way back into the game. It was a fine bit of skill from Jack Wellsby, offloading to Conrad Hurrell to touchdown out wide, and that kick was good too. Frank Maria of the Catalans should have been potentially sent off for a high tackle on George Delaney. The home fans certainly warranted it. Didn't get what they asked for. He was only sin-bin. So at the moment, everyone's full complement, and it's all square. Saints 6, Catalan 6.
A really exciting one there, and a busy night of domestic T20 cricket too. Kevin Howes has been watching Worcestershire versus Lancashire.
Hiya Ben, how are you doing? Yeah, home side win here tonight by the River 7. The Worcestershire Rapids getting over the line, chasing 170 with just 3 balls remaining. Tom Taylor striking a straight 6 for that 5-wicket victory over Lancashire. The Rapids captain earlier played a big knock as well. Brett D'Oliveira, 61 of 47 balls. Opposite number Stephen Croft also struck a 50, but it's 1 win each from the opening 2 nights for these two teams. Elsewhere, already victories for Leicestershire Foxes, Northamptonshire Steelbacks, Birmingham Bears are almost there over Durham as well, up in the northeast along with you. But there are other games still taking place. BBC Sport website and app, you can follow those. But one highlight I really must mention, Charlotte Edwards Cup today. South East Stars beat Northern Diamonds by 6 wickets. 16 years of age. Tilly Courtine Coleman, 4 wickets in 4 balls, ended up with 5 wickets for the match.
Thanks, Kevin. Let's head to Saudi Arabia now. 2 weeks since Fury Usyk. The boxing world is back in Riyadh, which means so is Steve Bunce. How are you, Steve?
Ben, I'm fine. How are you? How are you on this evening?
Yeah, really, really good. I'm worried that you're not going to get enough sleep. These weekends are just mad for you.
Well, I'm not sure what a weekend means anymore. We've had 5 or 6 consecutive Saturdays, including obviously the Undisputed here, a crazy fight on 5 Live last Saturday, and then this weekend, 5v5. I'm sick of saying it's a unique event, but guess what, Ben? It's a unique event.
Talk us through it then. It is an interesting setup.
It is an interesting setup. We've got the 2 biggest promoters in Britain, Frank Warren, his company Queensbury, Eddie Hearn, his company Matchroom. Not only are they the 2 biggest promoters in Britain, they're arguably 2 of the 4 biggest promoters globally. That's the entire world, absolutely. So what they've done is they've come up with a concept where they'll put 5 of their best at different weights against each other. And they've decided to do it, and they're risking things. For instance, there's a couple of unbeaten fights where there's unbeaten young guys fighting other unbeaten young guys. And that doesn't often happen in boxing. And it's all down to a points system. And there's a $3 million bonus, $600,000 for each boxer, and that's just the bonus. That's what's made this so intriguing and feisty. Now the scoring system, I'd like you to get a bit of paper, Ben. I'll give you a few seconds.
Hang on,
you're going to write this down as I tell you. There's 5 fights, okay? Now if you win the fight, your team, if you win it by points, your team gets a point, 1 point. If you manage to stop your opponent, your team gets 2 points. Now here's the kicker. This is the joker in the pack. Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn were allowed to nominate their captain. Now the captain gets double points. So if he wins on points, it's 2 points. And if he wins by stoppage, it's 4 points. So as the scores go down, we're going to be watching the scores. The scores will be, as they used to say, on the doors. Now here's the interesting thing, and it's slightly controversial. And okay, I've had a busy few weeks. I've only just worked it out today. One team could win 3 of the 5 fights, but still lose because of the bonus points that the captain scores. Now when I presented that to 1 or 2 people, they looked at me in amazement, like I'd discovered something that had gone undiscovered, like some sort of prehistoric animal 500 feet under the ground. No, I've just worked out that the team that wins 3-2 could actually lose the competition. So I hope that's. Have you understood that, Ben? Tell me the truth.
I've tried to write down as much of it as possible.
Thank you.
I'm sort of halfway there. Can you sort of tell me what at the end of this is it the financial aspect or is it the bragging rights? What is it that Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn will want to come away with here?
Well, between the two of them, with them, they're definitely bragging rights, because for 15 years they coexisted in a business and they never once met each other. They never shook hands, they never sat down, they never dined, they never supped, they never watched a fight together. They met for the first time last September, early October. So it's bragging rights for the promoters, who are now very good friends. But for the boxers, it's more than that. It's not just the money. All fighters fight for money. They're called prize fighters, prize being the money. There is a world title at stake. There's massive bonuses for the men that win at heavyweight, because there's some enormous money and enormous fights at heavyweights, and there's also an eliminator for a world title down at middleweight. So every fight carries more than just bragging rights. Just saying it's bragging rights and just saying they're fighting for the money is selling it short. There's 5 fights here that these two forming this ridiculous alliance, which I love. It's brilliant radio, it's great TV. Forming this alliance has given us 5 fights that we wouldn't have got under any other circumstances.
What one are you looking forward to the most, Steve?
Oh, you know what? I should say Deontay Wilder, the great American who lost to Tyson Fury. I'm going to say a guy from Crystal Palace, right, called Craig Richards, who's just one of the most decent human beings, with a lovely piece of him on today's pod, against a guy called Willie Hutchinson, a former top amateur who just hasn't quite fulfilled his potential as a pro. Believes he'll do it against Craig Richards. They've been the ones that's feisty. It's almost like a domestic clash. If it was at the O2, there'd be 20,000 people screaming and howling. Willie's fans here, Craig's fans here. That's the one I'm looking forward to.
Have an amazing time out there, Steve. Enjoy it.
Thanks very much, Ben. See you soon.
See you soon. Back here at St James's Park, teams just coming out now for the second half. 1-1 here, all up in the air, and so much potential in this second half. I wonder whether subs will make an impact as well. Let's go back to our commentary team. Carly Telford, Karen Bardsley and Vicki Sparks.
Thanks very much, Ben. So both sets of players, as you say, back out on the pitch here at St James's Park. What a second half we have coming up. A reminder, only the top 2 in this group qualify automatically. Once this game is done, we'll be at the halfway stage. And as it stands, France are top, England are second, and Sweden are third. Sweden currently leading 2-0 away now to Ireland. There's about 15 minutes to go in that one. They're on 4 points. As it stands, England on 5 points and France on 7 points. It goes to head-to-head as well in the deciders, ahead of goal difference. So these games against France and Sweden in particular are so important. And at the moment, England drop points at home to Sweden. And as we approach the second half here, they're dropping points at home to France. They've still got France away to come, Sweden away to come. This is one of the biggest. OK, it's not a major tournament. It's not at a major tournament. But they're trying to qualify for a major tournament where they're the defending champions. This is one of the biggest halves under Serena Wiegman, would you say?
Oh, I would 100% agree with that, Vicki Sparks. I think, listen, going forward, it's about what's going to happen in the next 45 minutes to do the best thing about getting through as early as possible, putting this game to bed and just topping the group. Like, ultimately, they just need to get to the Euros. So just need a massive performance here in the second half.
So we're underway in the second half. England playing from right to left in the white shirts with the dark blue trim, the dark blue shorts and the white socks. France in the royal blue shirts and shorts with the bright red socks. Beth Mead had put the Lionesses ahead in the first half. Elisa de Almeida scored with a quite brilliant volley to level things up before half-time as the ball is back with Hannah Hampton. She is the one change so far. That was made early on in the first half. Mary Epsom, her 50th cap, going off injured. Take you through the lineups in a moment. But France coming forward, bashes ball into the area, looking for Katoto. And Jess Carter will keep that ball just from going out for the corner. Katoto and Williamson were leaping together. One of them made contact. It sailed away before we could find out whether it would be a goal kick or a corner, and Carter did well to stop the ball going out of play. Plays it forward now. Hemp under real pressure from France's goal scorer Elisa de Almeida, and they've lost it, England. And here goes Toletti just outside the penalty area. Low shot is tame and straight down the throat of Hannah Hampton, who gathers.
England are really fortunate there. It's a turnover in a really dangerous area, and they're very, very lucky that Toletti just didn't put anything more behind that. It was an easy routine save for Hannah Hampton, but already France are putting the pressure on, going high up the pressing up high in the pitch and going 1-for-1, especially in these wide areas.
Yeah, they sent an opportunity here. France, they've come out really aggressively as they go out to this right-hand side. England with this throw, and it's chested down by Alessia Russo, but she's lost possession to Wendy Renard. And Karshawi will bring it forward down the left-hand side. Now goes Diani. Has Katoto in the centre. Diani checks. Lucy Bronze there with her, but Diani does dig out the cross. Powerful header away by Millie Bright, who got her body in front of Marie-Antoinette Katoto. And France have to defend now as England bring it out to this right-hand side with Beth Mead, but now all the way back with Hannah Hampton, who is in goal for the Lionesses after coming on early on in this game for the injured Mary Earps. The back four of Lucy Bronze, Leah Williamson the captain, Millie Bright and Jess Carter. Ahead of them, Georgia Stanway, Kira Walsh and Ella Toone, with Beth Mead the goal scorer, Alessia Russo and Lauren Hemp up top as Walsh has the ball just outside the England penalty area. France with Pauline Perrault-Magnon in goal. The back four of Maëlle Lecras, Lisa de Almeida, their goal scorer, Wendy Renard, Selma Basher. Ahead of them, Kenza Dali of Aston Villa, Sakina Karshawi and Sandy Toletti, with Kadidiatu Diani, Marie-Antoinette Katoto and Delphine Cascarino up front. And we should mention as well, one of the other key things that happened in the first half, Jess Carter at left back for England getting booked. So she is now up against Delphine Cascarino on a yellow card, and Cascarino is not short of pace. Here is Carter on the halfway line, plays it back to Leah Williamson, who squares it to Hannah Hampton, and Hampton will send it out to Millie Bright. Here they come once more, England, building from outside their own penalty area. Lovely delivery from Hampton. It's such a strength of her game, and she beautifully picks out Bronze on that right-hand side. The offside flag is up against Alessia Russo as she tumbles, as she receives the ball, and it will be a free kick to France. Karen Bardsley.
And you can see in this second half already, England have taken a more aggressive start, particularly down that wide area, sending Lucy Bronze a lot further forward. It's allowing Millie Bright to kind of shift across, Jess Carter to come across, and then Kira Walsh drop in alongside Leah Williamson as well. So in terms of the directness, it's right along with Hannah Hampton and her strengths as well.
And Toone is really pushing up into that attacking midfield role as well. And here she is, Ella Toone, lays it off to Kira Walsh, and now out to the left-hand side. And Lauren Hemp pulls it back to Walsh once more. Toone wants it. Good run by Toone. Good delivery as well. Toone picks it up down by the byline for England. She's up against De Almeida. Picks out Kira Walsh. A little bit strong, but Walsh will leave it for Lucy Bronze. Central position midway through the France half. 1-1. 4 minutes gone in the second half here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as Millie Bright has it in the centre circle.
And it's a much livelier start, to your point, Vicky, around Ella Toone getting higher. She's occupying the back line. She's creating a bit more space for Kira Walsh to get higher up as well. Lucy Bronze involved in the back line for France as well. So yeah, really like this aggressive start from England.
Yeah, at times it's almost morphing into a back three at the moment from England, as they're out of possession here. Bronze playing at right wing back, Hemp playing at left wing back. So a little tweak in formation perhaps, although now as Lucy Bronze drops back, it goes back into that back four. So that's predominantly what it will be, but when they're in possession, then Bronze really is pushing high, and Carter's coming across to make a back three. She's at left back right now, pulls it in field to Georgia Stanway. And Stanway under pressure from Karshawi will steer it to Millie Bright. Poor ball from Bright, intercepted by Karshawi, and now picked up by Kadidiatu Diani. And Toletti has it just inside the France half. 1-1 here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as Dali on the stretch went to intercept that ball for France, and Williamson plays it forward, and here goes Lauren Hemp. De Almeida is chasing her, but Hemp is away down this left-hand side. Russo making the run in the centre, just over her head on the edge of the 6-yard box. And Basher should be able to clear for France. Stanway wins it back on the edge of the penalty area. Now Toone urged to shoot. We've seen her score some worldies this season, not least in the FA Cup final for Manchester United. Instead, she finds Mead, who plays it off Basher, and it's out for an England throw.
Lauren Hemp does really well to get here. 1v1, puts a great cross into the area. I was quite surprised it was that high, because it essentially was head height for Wendy Renard, but it manages to find its way through. But unfortunately comes to nothing.
So England throw. Lucy Bronze loops it up towards Beth Mead down by that corner flag. Diani, though, good foot in, plays it back to Basher, her Lyon teammate, and England win the throw once again over on that right-hand side. Lovely back heel by Mead. Finds Lucy Bronze, chips the ball across, deflected behind. It will be an England corner. That was audacious from Beth Mead.
I love the creativity. She's always so positive in what she's trying to do. She's always trying to catch the opposition out, and I think a lovely little back heel nearly did the trick, but unfortunately it was a good block from the French defence. So let's see if we can make something from this Lioness corner.
So set piece to England over on the far side here at St James's Park. 51 minutes played in this game. It's 1-1 in this Women's Euro qualifier. As England swing the corner in, it's high, it's leaping from the right-hand side. Russo with the header, it's blocked. Williamson trying to get the shot away, can't do so inside the 6-yard area. And Kenzadali will eventually clear for France, and Cascarino's touch won't quite keep that in. And that is a let-off for England, because had it done so, Cascarino would have been racing towards the England half, and Jess Carter, on a yellow card, might have had to come across. Karen Bardsley's thoughts in a moment. Back to the Rugby Union, the Premiership semi-final. Sarah Orchard.
Yeah, we are closing in now on the final whistle. 66 minutes played. Northampton 19, Saracens 13, but a penalty to Saracens just to hold into this. It's all been about the kicking of Finn Smith so far, the only difference in this second half, and it is Northampton 19, Saracens 13.
Commentary continues over on 5 Sports Extra. 1-1 here at St James's Park in this Women's Euro qualifier. Karen Bardsley.
The moment's gone now, but I think Leah Williamson just couldn't believe her luck when the ball fell to her feet. She looked like she was caught in two minds about what to do. Should she try and get the shot on target? Should she try and recycle the ball? But yeah, just didn't expect to find herself in that position, I don't think.
Here comes Lucy Bronze cutting into midfield from that right back position, but again noticeable, as Karen's pointed out, how high she's going up the France half in this second half. But Ella Toons lost it, and Bronze now has to get back into defence as Kenzadali plays it forward. Little 1-2 with Cascarino. Nice work by the French as Dali plays it back to Toletti just inside the France half, and now Lecras will steer it to Wendy Renard. So experienced, the France captain. 9 major tournaments she's played at with France. Quite remarkable. One of those players that fell out with Corinne Diacre, said before the World Cup last year that she would step back from France duty. Like the Diani did that as well, and it was the final nail in the coffin in many ways for Corinne Diacre. How she, I think looking on from the outside as De Almeida has a throw, how she survived so many fallouts with so many players over the years. I mean, not taking Katoto to the World Cup in 2019 when she was the Golden Boot winner in the French top flight that year. So many controversies, but they're clicking under Hervé Renard, and here goes Cascarino into the penalty area. Still going Cascarino. Oh, lovely dribbling run, but she steers the shot just past the post. Brilliant play by Cascarino. Still 1-1. England goal kick to the Rugby League. Matt Newson.
Yes, St Helens 18, Catalan 6, and in this Anglo-French stoosh, it looks as though the English side have taken a bit of control. 2 quick-fire tries, one from Sione Matautia, the other from Tommy Makinson. Saints are in control. St Helens 18, Catalan 6.
And let's get an update from the French Open. Abigail Johnson.
Yeah, the stands remain full here in Court Philippe Chatrier because it's getting interesting. Sebastian Korda, the world number 28, lost the first set to Carlos Alcaraz, but he's 1 game away from taking the second at 6-5.
Thanks very much, Abigail. England in possession over on the far side. Beth Mead wins a throw. So let's give you some later scores elsewhere. Sweden have got a third away to Ireland. So as expected, Sweden are winning that match, and they will move, as things stand, to within a point of England in this group as they come down the left-hand side. France, Diani. Portugal have taken the lead against Northern Ireland. That's half an hour gone. 1-1 between Wales and Ukraine, and Scotland 4-0 up against Israel. That match delayed, being played behind closed doors, but a process to chain themselves to the goal. So half an hour delay in that game, but very comfortable for Scotland as the ball goes all the way out of play and out for an England goal kick. Karen Bardsley.
I think I'm watching Kenzadali here, and the way she's been able to affect the game has been fantastic. The way she's kind of come into her own at Aston Villa under Carla Ward and Hervé Renard here in the French team. You know, to your point, off the back of, you know, the previous manager exiting, I think Hervé Renard has been able to inject a bit of freedom and confidence and positivity into this French side. You can see it as they play with so much freedom and confidence, and I think Cascarino is really demonstrated that today as well. So dangerous.
England almost get themselves in trouble playing out from the back once again. Yeah, it's something that Kenzadali has spoken about in terms of Hervé Renard. In the press conference yesterday, she was saying, I have a coach that trusts me now, which makes my life a lot easier when you have the same values and stuff. But the huge hurdle for France is getting to that major tournament final, is winning that first major tournament. England did it at Euro 2022. They're hoping to head to Switzerland next year as defending champions, looking to defend their crown. But automatic qualification is by no means assured. Only the top 2 go through automatically. The bottom 2 in this group go into the playoffs. 3 of the world's top 6 are in this group: France, England and Sweden. England second, France third, Sweden sixth. One of those is going to be in the playoffs. England's job is to make sure it's not them. But they're being held here 1-1 at home to France, just as they were by Sweden at Wembley in their opening qualifier. A win against Ireland in between those two as they come down the right-hand side. England, good defending by Selma Basher, and the ball goes out of play. Let's bring in Carly Telford. We've had 11 minutes or so in this second half. What's your assessment, Carly?
I think it's nice to see England settle down a little bit, to be honest. Just pass it round the back, keep France guessing. Nice short passes into the midfield and then spreading it out wide with some bigger ones, then recycling it again.
Well, lovely link-up play here. Lauren Hemp just forced a little bit wide by that ball from Russo, but now she delivers in, and Pedro Mannion does well, claims the head of Alessia Russo.
It's a nice positive take from Pedro Mannion. But CT, what were you getting at there? Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I just think it's nice for us to just retain the ball a little bit, be a bit patient with it. We don't have to score every single time we go forward. It's nice to recycle, try different things, probe through the midfield, then get it wide, then come back again, recycle, and just really test this. How disciplined are France going to be against us, and at what point is one of them going to break, and then we can find them spaces in between the ranks, which worked so well the first half.
Well, the goal that Beth Mead scored, the initial opener for England, is the first goal that France have conceded in qualifying. This is their third match. Pedro Mannion clears away, little touch by Dali. It was a good one, but good thumping header by Lucy Bronze to get there ahead of Basher, and the ball is out for a France throw. 1-1 here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. We have plenty of women's football podcast content for you to check out, incidentally, on BBC Sounds. The Tooney and Russo show, 2 best mates playing here at St James's Park for the Lionesses. Always great to hear them in conversation. And the Women's Football Weekly as well, the latest episode, Ellen White in conversation with Steph Houghton, 2 Lionesses legends. Houghton, of course, retiring from football at the end of the season just gone. You can check both of those podcasts out on BBC Sounds, and we will have commentary on 5 Live on Tuesday from St Etienne of the reverse qualifier, France at home to England. Will England go there having won here at St James's Park? At the moment they're taking a point, but France, it is clear with this attacking lineup and the way they've approached the game, have come here to get a victory. Hervé Renard, their manager, said they weren't favourites for this when I asked him directly, but they are certainly playing like they believe they can win this, as Hampton is closed down by Katoto and Bright plays it back to Hampton. Karen Bardsley, it really does feel on a knife edge, this game.
It was so funny that you say that, because I was just about to say I can feel like the momentum starting to shift slightly back into France's favour.
Here goes Alessia Russo though on the turn up against Lacroix. Good defending by Lacroix, but Russo does manage to squeeze it to Lauren Hemp, and now goes into the penalty area. Russo, as Hemp brings it down the left hand side. Carter getting forward now, miscontrol. Karshawi's there. Carter then trips her. She's right outside the France penalty area. She'll get away with that, Jess Carter. She's already on a yellow. She's not going to get away with too many more of those.
No, she just needs to be careful, really needs to be careful. And I think, when will the right time be to kind of make that substitution and kind of take that decision out of Jess Carter's hands so it doesn't affect anything over the course of the rest of this game and the rest of the campaign.
And Carly Telford to my right has just made that, I think you would call it the grimace emoji face.
It was more how quickly she vacated the area after she did it. That's what I'm smirking at, because I think she was very smart in getting out of that area, so the ref maybe didn't catch who it was. But yeah, like she's got, I was more obviously looking as well. I think she took that touch and she had a lot of space in front of her. Unfortunately, the touch was a little bit too far ahead, but I think her eyes might have been lighting up, and I think that's why the touch kind of escaped her. But yeah, just needs to be a little bit cautious now, a little bit more careful. But yeah, she's smart. She's had yellow cards before and played against very good players, so she knows how to manage herself.
England in possession. Millie Bright clears up towards halfway. Jess Carter, of course, who was involved in that game against Barcelona, where Chelsea saw that very controversial second yellow card for Kadisha Buchanan, the worst decision in the history of the Women's Champions League, Emma Hayes called it. So you never want the referees to be given an opportunity, but positionally it would have been a travesty had that been a second yellow, and it's not. But she's just got to be careful, Carter, because England cannot afford to go down to 10. Here she comes down this left hand side. Toon has gone down, and the free kick is given by our referee Marta Huerta de la Aza. And England have the set piece on the left hand side. The first Mexican wave ripples around St James's Park, just over an hour gone. Is that a way to try and alleviate some of the tension, do we think, Karen Bardsley? Are you going to be joining in?
No, I certainly don't think so. I think there's plenty enough action to keep my eyes peeled on the pitch, and something I always kind of laughed about. Carl, you might be able to remember this, but anytime we played against Wendy Renard, we were always trying to figure out how the heck do you get around her, because she's so massive. She just sticks a huge leg out and the ball just won't get past her.
Carly's thoughts on that in a moment, but England have taken this free kick, tuned down towards him. England corner, Carly?
Yeah, and I'm just kind of looking at how you solve that, and we're giving a lot of high bouncy balls to Russo, and that's really hard to control. We need to keep them on the ground, because every single time that long leg of Wendy Renard comes kind of around the side of Russo, and then she can deal with it. So can we get it on the floor so at least she has to attempt to foul Russo, so that we can get something from it? But a little bit of sleep there, the French, and we've got a corner.
A corner which will be taken by Beth Mead. 1-1 here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as Diani wins the header for France. Not quite out of the penalty area yet. Lucy Bronze trying to send it back in. Taken off her toes once more by Diani. It's good defending from the winger. And it's all the way back with Jess Carter. I think that's one thing that has really stood out. The France wingers, Diani and Cascarino, at times have done brilliant defensive work and not shy of getting back there quickly and helping out their team with some vital interceptions and strong play.
No, I think the wing play has been exceptional today for both teams, more so for France, I think, is where probably the majority of their dangerous attacks have come from. But, what I was thinking in terms of Carly's point as well is like leaving Alessia Russo isolated against those two massive centre halves as well. They're so comfortable at the minute. How, as a striker, can you make yourself more of a nuisance? How can you work one shoulder? How can Ella Toone get a bit more involved as well to partner up with Alessia Russo and create some space for Georgia Stanway to start attacking as well?
Yeah, she's almost at times playing as a second striker too, but it's not quite the two up front at the moment, and maybe that is what England need. They don't have Rachel Daly, she's retired, surprise, international retirement back in April. They don't have the Chelsea attacker Lauren James, who can play through the middle as well, but can come on and unlock teams from any position really on the pitch. She's out injured. They do have Aggie Beaver-Jones. It would be a debut for her, and as Pedro Mannion has it inside her own penalty area. Is Sarina Wiegman the sort of manager to give a player a debut at this sort of stage, at this sort of level of game?
I think she is. I think she's bold. Whether or not she will, that's a different question. But, Carly, you'll know Aggie Beaver-Jones a lot better than I will personally. How do you feel she'd be able to affect this game?
Look, Aggie's a special player, and I don't think she ever would have come across playing against the likes of Wendy Renard. So that is a true and a massive test for someone like Aggie. So it's again, is it stick or twist for Sarina? Is she ready for that? And it's a huge game, right? We're looking to score a goal. We're looking to win the game. So is that maybe somewhere we need to stay away from Wendy? Leave Russell up there by herself, but we've got to build better in the midfield. Do we put some fresh legs on? A Grace Clinton, a kind of a Jess Park, who can unlock something in the midfield that allows Russell to kind of get in the box and make it difficult, rather than kind of operating by herself in large spaces against Wendy Renard, where we know she's very, very strong. Aggie's a great player and she's special, but whether she's quite ready for this sort of game and this sort of kind of moment is huge.
Georgia Stanway in possession, sends it back to Leah Williamson and plays it forward over the halfway line. It's over the head of Ella Toone. Lacroix will send it forward to Kinza Dali, Aston Villa midfielder. Nifty bit of footwork, but she won't keep it in. And the ball goes out of play for an England throw. Let's head for an update from the Rugby Union. Sarah Orchard.
We have got 3.5 minutes on the clock here at the Gardens. At the moment, it's Northampton who are heading to Twickenham. It's Northampton 22, Saracens 13. Saracens are going to have to do something sharpish if their reigning champions are going to stay in this fight. Northampton 22, Saracens 13.
Closing stages with Sarah and the team over on 5 Sports Extra here at St James's Park. Midway through the second half, it's 1-1 between England and France, a result which will keep France at the top of the group and England in second, as Lucy Bronze has it on the right hand side. Stanway urged to shoot, edge of the penalty area, can't get the shot away. Bronze sends it in, Russo's in there, good take by Pedro Mannion on the edge of her 6-yard box, and the offside flag is up against Russo anyway.
Confident take regardless of whether it was offside or not from the French goalkeeper, but look, England are on the attack, they're throwing numbers forward. It's what you want to see. It's a good ball into the area from Lucy Bronze, and it's really good to see England and these so many white shirts on the front foot.
Here come France down the left-hand side with Basher. Ball straight out of play under not too much pressure. Just thinking about the other options as well. Chloe Kelly, of course, on the bench for England. And I guess that's the big question for Sarina Wiegman. Do you go with a player like Aggie Beaver-Jones, who's had a great season with Chelsea, mainly still as a substitute, but she has played regularly, their second highest scorer behind Lauren James? Or do you go with players who have experience of huge games, of European Championship finals, of World Cups? Because this is a huge game for England. Really, they need to win it. as they come down the right-hand side. Good challenge by Basher on Lucy Bronze. She won't prevent the England throw, though. A reminder, it's only halfway after this game in the qualifiers. There are still 3 more games to play. But if they drop points here, England, they then have to go away to France on Tuesday. Join us for 5 on that. Join us from France on 5 Live at 8 o'clock on Tuesday for that. And then they've got to go away to Sweden as well. And they host the Republic of Ireland in Norwich. Those final 2 games in July. As Diani comes down this left-hand side, what a result this would be for France if they were to hit the front here as the ball is played into the area. Little deflection is behind for a France corner.
Oh, it's a little bit uncomfortable at the minute, Vicky. I think, we're seeing a lot of white shirts recover centrally to protect that space at the edge of the area. You can see Jess Carter checking her shoulder as she was travelling back as well, because she knew that threat was there from the French wingers. This will be a big moment here about how they defend a massive threat like Wendy Renard. She's just strolling into the edge of the area, 6'3". She's going to be a right handful.
France are preparing a change. It looks as though Amandine Henry, hugely experienced, is preparing to come on, and indeed she is. Out of the picture for so long after rowing with Corinne Diacre, the former manager. She's back in the picture under Hervé Renard. She is a huge player as France swing this corner in. Can't make contact with Renard, but they pick it up on this right-hand side with Darley, who dinks it back in. The height is still up there. Katoto's there. Renard trying to get on the end of it. Cleared away. Overhead clearance by Alessia Russo. And then the shot driven into the bottom corner. Katoto on the turn. It's a class finish from a class player. And boos ring around St James's Park as France celebrate in the corner. What a blow this could be for the Lionesses, because France lead by 2-1.
Oh, that's so disappointing. It's not the best clearance. Alessia Russo tried to clear it, didn't quite get the contact on it as the ball was over her head, and it just kind of came out to the edge of the area, and Katoto just kind of walks into it.
Substitution.
And it's a bit of a side volley, really. And it just finds the back of the net, and it's a great finish.
To be replaced
really
by
good finish.
It's
about 12 yards out into the opposite corner from Hannah Hampton. And really, it's just too easy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and there's multiple times we probably should have cleared better. If we watch every time, you guys can't see it, but we're clearing it central every single time, which allows the French team to then recycle it and deliver it back into the box, which were a little bit unorganised, and she's in there unmarked. And like their French's first goal, it's the first time finish, which leaves everyone kind of static, and Hannah can just watch it go into the far corner. A lot of work now to do for the English team.
Hervé Renard is beaming in the stands. He's serving a touchline ban, the France manager, but he knows how big that goal could be. France lead by 2-1, and England now are up against it in Newcastle. That change has been made. Amandine Henry is on. Delphine Cascarino is off. Interesting, Henry was coming on anyway. That potentially will see France just slot into a slightly more defensive formation with Cascarino coming off. I wonder if that was the change that they were going to make. Full time in the rugby union. I will go there in 1 second as Russo goes down. Free kick. Let's go there now. Sarah Orchard.
Who you have to say just deserved this win tonight.
Oh, without doubt. They had so many chances, weren't able to capitalise them on them all.
So back to the rugby union in a moment, but we will see this England free kick first. 42,561.
Thank you for your fantastic support.
Big crowds in the northeast, but they are watching their England side at the moment, trailing France by 1-0. Can they hit by 2-1, I should say? Can they hit back immediately? Hemp's delivery into the area. It's cleared away by Wendy Renard, and Karshawi picks it up on the edge of the penalty area and clears only as far as Lauren Hemp, collected by Ella Toon. In field now Sakira Walsh. Hemp has it once more midway through the France half, and Georgia Stanway now will pick it up for the Lionesses, who are 2-1 down here with 19 minutes plus added time to play in a game that they really cannot afford to lose. They'll still have half of the qualifying campaign to play, but this will really leave them up against it when it comes to automatically qualifying for the European Championships next summer. Make no mistake, this result would be hugely damaging. Lauren Hemp's delivery into the area. Mead is there, and she nods the header wide. Full time in the Rugby Union, Sarah Orchard.
Full time is Northampton heading to Twickenham for the final. It finished Northampton 22, Saracens 20. A late try from Sarries, but wasn't to be. An absolute grandstand finish. Northampton 22, Saracens 20.
Thanks very much, Sarah. In the last couple of minutes, Maëlle Lecras has gone into the book as well for France. So a yellow card apiece for both sides. But the key score, the key statistic is England 1, France 2 here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as Amandine Henry clears towards the scorer of that second France goal, Marie-Antoinette Katoto. And we have to say, Karen Bardsley, both finishes from the French have been outstanding.
Yeah, they absolutely have, and we had quite a debate at halftime about De Almeida's goal and whether or not it was intentional. I mean, I certainly think it was. And Katoto's goal to take on the half volley, the side volley, I should say, was an exceptional finish. But ultimately, these goals have kind of come from just whether it's scrappiness or slight untidiness, but really, you know, England's inability to kind of control the game a little bit.
So scores elsewhere. Sweden have beaten Ireland by 3-0. It's finished 1-1 between Wales and Ukraine. Scotland have beaten Israel 4-1, and Portugal still lead Northern Ireland by 1-0 as Russo into the penalty area. Her cross is claimed by Pedro Magnon. So this is how it stands. With that Sweden victory, they are ahead of England at the moment on goal difference. France, 3 out of 3 on 9 points. Sweden, 4 points. England in third on 4 points. Now, it will eventually go down to head-to-head once that second game between England and Sweden has been played. But of course, if England draw out in Sweden, then goal difference will come into play. But this is really, all things considered, when you look at the qualifying campaign so far, if they lose here, it's been a pretty nightmare start really for England.
Yeah, it's certainly not been ideal, and you know, we know that England are capable of better performances. Alessia Russo said so in that last game against Sweden as well. They know they've got more in them, and they have such high standards, and you know, really, like, they should be performing to those high standards as opposed to kind of inconsistent performances over the course of 90 minutes. We just need to see a more comprehensive performance, because the chances will come, but France are doing such a fantastic job of limiting England's opportunities. It's things that are just very easy to defend.
England in possession there, under pressure. Stanway steers it back to Hannah Hampton. It's a good point, Karen Bardsley, about performances across the 90 minutes. Right now, it is all about a performance in the final 16 minutes plus added time, because England need one. The defending European champions right up against it in their qualifying group. As they win possession back from Darley, and Walsh turning away from Darley and the referee again. She's just getting too close, the referee, on several occasions in this game. And even if the ball doesn't touch her, it disrupts the momentum. At that time, she blows for a free kick for England on Georgia Stanway. So England with the free kick just outside the centre circle to the Rugby League. Matt Newsom.
Yes, and Helens have got a little bit of daylight now, and they will go to the top of Super League. 24-6 they lead Catalan Dragons. Matty Lee's on his 150th club appearance, touching down a kick under the sticks. St Helens 24, Catalan 6.
England looking to build down this right-hand side. Here is Lucy Bronze over the halfway line. They trail France by 2-1, and there's too much on that from Bronze. Basher is there, and she clears calmly away to Wendy Renard. Amandine Henry wants it, but Renard goes over the top. France are not settling for 2-1. They want a third. They want the buffer. Little push by De Almeida on Lauren Hemp. Hemp does well to keep it in. France saying it's gone out. Whistle eventually goes, and it's a free kick to England. Let's head for an update from the French Open. Abigail Johnson.
Wimbledon champion Carlos Alcaraz keeping this match close enough for the capacity crowds on Chatrier to be entertained, but ultimately under his own control. He leads Sebastian Korda 2-0. Is 6-4, 7-6.
The boos are in support of Ella-Toone, who thinks De Almeida should have been booked for that foul, but nothing doing. Williamson in possession on the halfway line, plays the ball over the top, looking for the run of Russo. Good defending by Lecras, clears away for an England throw deep in France territory. England 1, France 2. She's got to change it soon, Serena Wiegman, hasn't she?
Absolutely. I mean, look, it's all in the line here in terms of making an impact, and the girls look fatigued, and I can imagine that we'll probably see some substitutions.
Here is Georgia Stanway, drives for goal, and it's over the bar, 25 yards out. We've seen her hit the back of the net from there. She is capable of a worldie, but is the pressure, are the nerves starting to tell for the Lionesses?
I think there's just an urgency about this team. They really, really want to make something happen, but there's that tension between wanting to make something happen and choosing the right decisions, and I think that's where we are at the minute. You know, shooting from distance is probably not the likely solution.
England 1, France 2 in this Women's Euro 2025 qualifier here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. They travel to France, England on Tuesday. You can hear that with us on 5 Live. 8 o'clock kickoff UK time from St Etienne. We'll be live in the stadium as the ball goes out of play for a France throw.
And it looks to me like Fran Kirby might be warming up down on the touchline. It looks like she's got her shirt on. She's speaking to Serena to get some last-minute information before she steps on. Let's see what she can do. She is probably going to come into that 10, I imagine.
Well, she is a player that can unlock things when she's on form, when she's fully fit. She's played regularly for Chelsea this season, in and out of the side. She's leaving the club this summer. She's been such a servant to them and has scored in England's last 2 meetings with France as Millie Bright gets a knee to that ball ahead of Karshawi. And Stanway sends it out to the right-hand side, and Lucy Bronze now. Another North-East native is roared on by this crowd at St James's Park. Bronze well held up though. France are defending excellently as a unit. They're keeping the white shirts at bay. Can Beth Mead unlock them as she did in the first half to give England the lead? A goal that seems a long time ago now as they trail by 2-1. Here is Stanway. Picks it up down the right-hand side. The white shirts are waiting in the area. Russo's there. The header is won by Lacroix. Diani struggling to clear it. Hemp loses out to Diani though eventually, who didn't know where that ball was for a second, did a 360 pirouette, but then does bring the ball away down the right hand side, and De Almeida will send it all the way back to Peiro Magnon. She's closed down by Russo, takes a touch Peiro Magnon and plays it out very calmly to Toletti. This has been a really good performance from France.
It's been a fantastic performance. I mean, it's so calm and so composed, the things that we'd like to see more from England. In fact, you know, the passes into the midfield are far too easy, so let's hope that as we see Fran Kirby and Chloe Kelly about to come on, they compact that midfield space out of possession.
Free kick to France, they take it quickly. Here is Diani out to the right hand side. France lead by 2-1 here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Amandine Henry loses out to Elatin, but De Almeida's there and Henry will pick it up. No relation to Thierry. Amandine Henry plays it in field once more to Dali, but she's dispossessed by Kira Walsh just inside the England penalty area, and Lauren Hemp clears up towards Alessia Russo. Lacroix done really well there. Gets the foot in, and here comes this double change. Fran Kirby and Chloe Kelly coming on. Carly Telford come in.
Yeah, I just think Russo's made a really smart move. She's moved away from Renard and gone sat on the number 2. Excuse me, I can't see her name there, but that's what we're talking about. It's Russo being smart in these moments. Move away from where you're not getting joy and start working on the other centre half where she's starting to get joy. She's also booked, so if we can make her make a mistake, there's another opportunity there for us.
So here comes that double change. Chloe Kelly and Fran Kirby are on. Beth Mead, who scored England's opener tonight, and Georgia Stanway are off. So Fran Kirby, who scored in her last 2 games for England against France, and Chloe Kelly, the heroine, of course, of Wembley, scoring that extra time winner. And there is the roar as her name is announced here at St James's Park in the European Championship final against Germany. England want to go to the Euros in Switzerland next year and defend their trophy, but at the moment they are going to be up against it in terms of qualifying automatically from this group of death, because as it stands, with Sweden winning 3-0 away to Ireland earlier and France winning 2-1 here, they're going to be third, and they still have France and Sweden away to come. This is not how the defence of their first major trophy was supposed to go as the ball goes out of play. And look, we knew this was a hard group. We knew it was so difficult. We knew when Sweden came out of pot 3, and even though Serena Wiegmann said, no, it's exciting, you know, it's a challenge, everybody else who is a Lionesses fan, as it were, just went, oh gosh, not Sweden. Now we've got France and Sweden, and so it is proving so far. But England still have time in this game, 10 minutes of it, as France win a free kick.
No, I think, you know, in terms of this type of competition, it's exactly what England want. You know, they don't want it to be easy. They want to play the best competition. Sure, you know, Sweden coming out of the hat wasn't ideal, but I have full confidence in this team that they are good enough to beat, you know, anyone that they play. It's just now, do they believe it? Can they get those consistent performances over the course of 90 minutes? Because it's definitely there.
Well, they have to find something special in the last 10. A point wouldn't be a disaster from this position, but it wouldn't be ideal either. Really, they'll be looking for the 2 goals as Eve Perisset of Chelsea is preparing to come on for France, as Elisa de Almeida comes to take this throw on the halfway line. But this, if they can see it out, France puts them in an incredibly strong position in the group, and they know that if they beat England in Saint-Etienne on Tuesday. As Diani is flagged offside, then they'll be there. They'll be qualified.
I just keep thinking back about, the technical ability and the quality in this England side. I know, like I said, it is there, but we've just not been able to see that consistent performance. And I just think, what is it? Is it belief? Is it the fact that, we're tired at the end of a long season? What is it that we haven't been able to see that performance that we have seen so consistently in the Euros in 21, 22? It's frustrating because that these players individually are so well, versed in what it is that they need to do, but they can't seem to pull it together in an England shirt at the minute.
Out to the right hand side go England, but Lucy Bronze has lost it, and here comes Toletti for France, and now Katoto. Dali almost gets the foot in, but Kirby takes it off her, and now Kirby gets it from Leah Williamson, and now Kirby is off and over the halfway line. She's bearing down on the France penalty area, sends it to the left, and Lauren Hemp taking on De Almeida. Hemp checks just inside the box, left hand side. Toletti back defending now as well for France, and Dali, they know about the danger of Hemp as she pulls it back to Kira Walsh, 20 yards out, central position. Kirby will leave it for Hemp. England need to get the white shirts into the area as Hemp sends it in. Decent delivery, and Chloe Kelly can't quite latch onto it on the follow-up on the edge of the 6-yard box, and France will clear away up towards halfway. But she had so much space there, Chloe Kelly. It was a great run, difficult chance.
Just looked like the ball wouldn't come down in time for her to be able to connect with it properly. Looked like it took it by surprise just a little bit to find herself with the ball just kind of in around her chest, around her neck.
They scored late goals against the Netherlands in the Nations League. They need similar goals now as Wendy Renard heads away for France. Lucy Bronze earth to shoot, drives again, fires it into the head of Renard, and Renard at that second block has gone down inside the penalty area, and the referee stops play. And it was a hefty collision of ball with head there for the France captain, and the referee rightly taking no chances, and the France medical staff are on, but this does also give France a little bit of a chance to regroup.
Yeah, it just set up really nicely for Lucy. You could see her iron it up, and she just lined up with it and just really took a nice crack at it, and it just was heading straight for the face of Wendy Renard. But again, this is a crucial moment to try and gather some momentum back for the Lionesses, really be clinical in the last remaining minutes of this game to get, to start to create more dangerous opportunities in front of goal.
Well, Serena Wiegmann is issuing detailed instructions to Jess Carter. Millie Bright is now coming over as well, and Leah Williamson getting instructions from the England manager in her 50th game in charge of the Lionesses. It's the first time they've faced France under her, and at the moment they are heading for their first Euro qualifying defeat since June 2000, their first home Euro qualifying defeat since March 2000, and only their 5th defeat in 50 games under Serena Wiegmann, and this one could be damaging indeed for their chances of qualifying automatically for the Euros next summer. Wendy Renard still receiving treatment. Let's bring in Carly Telford. Carly.
I would say, though, have France been in an environment like this, under pressure like this, there's a couple of moments where we've seen them very disjointed in the midfield. It's kind of that, do they carry on trying to get forward? As they do and move bodies forward, there's chances for then this England team to counter-attack. We've got Fran Kirby in some nice pockets of space who's driven the team forward, and I think we've just got to be a little bit more clever about slinging balls into a box where we've got a 6-foot giant. If she's okay and gets up and is fine, can we be a little bit more intricate? Can we see those link-up plays between the 10 and the 9 and the wide plays? Be a little bit more clever and be patient before we just kind of whip balls in there and isolate our wide players. But yeah, it's about patience. There's still 5 minutes and at a time. There's still, this team have come back before. There is chances, there will be chances, and I do believe there will be at least 1 or 2 more big chances in this game for this England team.
So the France captain Wendy Renard is up to her feet. The change that's been made sees Elisa de Almeida, who scored that brilliant equaliser, super volley in the first half for France, come off, and Chelsea's Eve Perisset is coming on. I have to say, it has split the 5 Live team here, both production and on air, as to whether that was intended from de Almeida or whether it was a complete fluke. Karen and I are saying absolutely intended. Carly Telford and producer Rob are saying complete fluke. We will let you make your own mind up, listeners, as Millie Bright brings it forward. We're into the final 4 minutes plus added time. England trail France by 2-1. Brilliant ball from Bright for Kirby. Plays it out to the right-hand side and Toon. Chloe Kelly picks it up now. The bright green boots darting towards the penalty area. She's held up well by Basher. Exchanges passes with Toon and now plays it forward. Great run by Lucy Bronze. Slides it across. Lecras is there and then clears away off the line as the ricochet from Karshawi took it goalwards. That's brilliant defending by Lecras. Great run by Lucy Bronze. All she needed to do was pick out Russo. Chloe Kelly plays the ball into the area, over the head of everybody, outside the penalty area it bounces as Hemp picks it up under pressure from Chelsea's Perisset. Hemp will play it back to Williamson, who plays it forward once more. Bit of space for Kirby. She has made a difference. She has changed things for England since coming on. Can they find this equalising goal and then push on for the winner? Chloe Kelly drives from range. Oh, not a bad try. Not a bad try at all. Narrowly over the bar from Kelly.
It's a good effort, but I still think the most dangerous opportunities is essentially what Carly alluded to earlier around those pockets of space that Fran Kirby's occupying. You know, she's pulling the centre backs apart as well, and she's looking for the diagonal runs and the balls coming through from the wide spaces as well. So yeah, massive impact that Chloe and
I think
Fran
we've just seen Serena's plan B as Millie Bright wanders up front alongside Alessia Russo, so we could see some more balls going into the box and longer balls and those second kind of phases and picking up the balls from those second balls of competing alongside Wendy Renard. So yeah, is this Serena's plan B?
Yeah, she's used it before to good effect. Emma Hayes has used it with Bright at Chelsea. She did start out as a striker, so it's not just lump the big centre half forward, but it is a sign of how desperate England are in this game and how stretched they are in terms of attacking options, which sounds strange when you consider the players they brought on. But in terms of that number 9, she's not turning to Aggie Beaver-Jones. She doesn't have Lauren James, more of an attacking midfielder, but who can play that. And of course she doesn't have Rachel Daly, who's retired. As Lucy Bronze sends the ball forward, it's flicked on by Russo. Bright was up there, but it rolls all the way through to Peiro Magnon, who dives on the ball inside her own 6-yard box. 2 minutes plus added time to play. England 1, France 2. England heading for a hugely damaging result here at St James's Park when it comes to automatic qualification for the Euros. They need a goal desperately.
No, they certainly do. And the pressure is coming, as Carly alluded to earlier, with Millie Bright up top, with Chloe Kelly getting on the ball and being extremely dangerous in those pockets of space.
Here is Katoto, who has scored, as it stands, the winning goal in this second half. Can England change that? Walsh has got it back for England. Out to the left-hand side she goes, but Hemp just took her eye off it and the ball rose out of play. It's that classic, you're already thinking about the next pass, and she didn't focus enough on the control, and it's a France throw.
Yeah, it's just not quite coming off, but again, you just have to focus on the process. Just take one thing at a time, like you say there, Vicki, around just focusing on the one thing that you need to do and let the rest kind of take care of itself.
France are about to make a double change to run the clock down even further as we tick towards added time. England 1, France 2 here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as Toletti sends it forward to Dali. Another goal would wrap this up for the French. Dali into the penalty area over the head of Karshawi, won't reach Diani. Good sliding challenge. France send it forward once again with Henri, and it should and will be cleared away by the England captain Williamson. Russo's come deep to try and win that header. Lecras gets there ahead of her. Lauren Hemp should pick it up for England and does so. Under pressure, shepherds it out for an England throw. Let's head to the tennis. Abigail Johnson.
Former junior number 1 Sebastian Korda is starting to look frustrated in this third round night session match. His forehand's broken down in some significant moments. Carlos Alcaraz leads 6-4, 7-6, and now by a break in the third, 4-1.
Heading to added time here at St James's Park, and France are about to make a double change. 5 minutes of added time. England really have got to get at least a goal. They really need to, but a defeat here, if they could salvage a draw, it would put a better spin on it. A defeat is hugely damaging, so they're preparing to make this double change. The referees come over while they make this change. Full time in the Rugby League, Matt Newson.
Yes, finished 24-12 here in favour of St Helens. They were 6-0 down in the first half after a try from Tom Johnston. Fought back with their own scores. Conrad Hurrell, Sione Matauti, Tommy Megerton and Matty Leeds. There was a late try from Julian Busquet to give Catalan a little bit of hope, but that means they've now lost to Wigan, Saints and Warrington. Saints are going to the top of Super League. Saints 24, Catalan 12.
So Katoto and Dali are off, and Dali has limped off. She has given absolutely everything, the Aston Villa midfielder. She sat down as soon as she's come off. Leah Legarrec and Luna Ribadera have come on. 19-year-old is Ribadera. Her France debut what a game to make it in, and what a vote of confidence from Hervé Renard for the PFA equivalent Young Player of the Year in the France top flight this season, as Hampton is close down right on her goal line. Almost an immediate impact from Le Garrick, who was closing her down there. Hampton eventually does get the clearance away, and Chloe Kelly loses out to Basher, but illegally so, and England win the free kick over on the far side. Karen Bardsley.
A lot of confidence from Hannah Hampton. I love to see it. She lets the ball roll across her body, roll across the goal, and she knows exactly where her exit is, and she executes it exceptionally well. Really, really, I mean, you have to put into context the fact that she's come into this game the way she has after Mary Earps went off early stages in the first half.
Perisset gets to that ball over the top before Rousseau and clears away for France. We have played almost 2 minutes of the minimum 5 added on. England 1, France 2 here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. A result that will seriously damage their hopes of qualifying automatically. It's not over yet, it's only the halfway stage in these European qualifiers, but they'll be third in the group. Same points as Sweden, but behind on goal difference. France clear at the top of the group. 5 points clear they'll be, ahead of the game against England at Saint-Etienne on Tuesday. And England still have Sweden away to come, as Frank Kirby on the edge of the D runs into trouble in the shape of Lacroix, who's been outstanding in this second half for France. And Ribadera will play it out to the left-hand side and Toletti, but France can afford to slow the play down, and that's what they do, leading by 2-1, 2.5 minutes of added time to play. They need the heroics of Wembley once again, Karen Bardsley, like they showed against the Netherlands in the Nations League. But time is ticking away as Bronze picks it up inside her own half for England.
No, time certainly isn't on the Lionesses' side. And I think, the French have been terrier-like in their defending. Henri, when she's come on, has just been all over Frank Kirby, just not letting her breathe, not letting her get comfortable on the ball and turn and face up to drive to goal. And, the French have really well managed this game, especially with the substitutions slowing down. Their roles look really, really clear. They know them inside and out.
Williamson in possession. France have all those blue shirts, every single one of them in their own half behind the ball, as Williamson plays it forward. Lovely layoff by Tim, but just too much on it for Millie Bright. That was a great ball from Williamson, and Peiro Magnon comes to the edge of her area and claims. We continue until 10:30 here on 5 Live Sport and BBC Sounds. There will be plenty of reaction and dissection of this performance and how damaging it is to England's hopes of automatically qualifying for the Euros as defending champions next summer. Ben Haynes will be leading that with us and the team here at St James's Park, because this is a huge result for France. It's a huge result for England in very different senses, as the ball is all the way through with Hannah Hampton. France have a player down on the halfway line. It's Korshawi, and the referee has stopped play, but we only have a minute left, and when they resume, are England pretty much out of time?
Yeah, I mean, it's not looking great, is it? I mean, like I said, the French are very, very clever in how they're managing this. Any time to kind of take the enthusiasm out of the game and, yeah, just like really make it frustrating for England. They're doing a great job, and I'm afraid that the whistle will probably go sooner rather than later.
Have England done enough in this game, performance-wise?
No, I mean, obviously they created chances, didn't put them away, and they're getting punished.
But now they're sending the white shirts forward, and all of a sudden France have switched off. Chloe Kelly's ball into the area, too much on it, and it goes behind. Did it get a touch on the way through? No, it is a goal kick, and France are fuming. They're fuming that ball was allowed to be played forward, but England haven't been able to make the most of it. Wendy Renard is still complaining, but a player of her experience, look, you might be fuming, but England have wasted the chance. You're in the final few seconds. Don't go getting yourself a yellow card for dissent.
I think it's fantastically clever from Hannah Hampton. She saw where the opportunity was. Saw that the keeper was, in between the edge of the area and the midfield centre circle. So why not have a go?
We've played the minimum 5 minutes of added time. There might be another 60 seconds with that stoppage, the injury to Korshawi, but the ball has gone out of play for a throw to France.
I think
France know they're almost there.
The plan B is for Millie Bright to go up top, but have we utilised that? What is the plan B? What does it look like for everybody else on the pitch? Is it a long ball? Is it crosses? She's up there, but we've hardly used her, so could we have put someone else on? I really would love to know what that plan B actually looks like for everyone, not just Millie.
Perisset heads the ball forward. England have a throw. It's got to go forward and quickly. Williamson does just that, headed away by Amandine Henry. Help forwards by Le Garrick. And Rivadera is closing down Jess Carter. Carter does well, steers it to Hampton, who plays it out quickly. Is there time for one final England attack as they look for a last gasp equaliser against group leaders France? They've almost lost possession. They do retain it just about, but the referee puts the whistle to her lips. A hugely damaging defeat for England in Newcastle. One that could have real ramifications for their hopes of qualifying automatically for next summer's European Championships as the defending champions. It's been a fabulous performance from France. They're clear at the top of the group. England now with so much work to do in these qualifiers. It finishes England 1, France 2. The first time that England lose a European qualifier since June 2000, but this is a calibre of opponent that they have rarely faced in these qualifiers. We knew this would be a hard game. We knew that only a place separates them in the rankings, and in the end, France have deserved it.
No, they really have. It's been an exceptional performance, very professional performance from France tonight. They capitalized on the opportunities that the Lionesses gave them. They were fantastic finishes, very, very skillful, but listen, they executed their game plan very well. Were compact in defense when out of possession, made it really difficult and frustrated the Lionesses all night, and unfortunately, slightly untidy from the Lionesses at times, and just didn't manage to kind of put away the opportunities that they had. Difficult, frustrating.
Yeah, I think the start of the game wasn't easy with Mary going out early. I think that disrupted any sort of rhythm that you gain from having the warm-up and starting the game. But ultimately, we're at home, we've got the crowd behind us, and it was sloppiness. We never really looked like we had complete control of the game for long periods of time. We had it for minimal amounts, but then we kind of give it back, and then France would have momentum, and we don't look that as fluid and as composed and as kind of solid as we usually do. There was lots of moments where there was transition and they exposed us. Ultimately, they were very clinical. It's not like Hannah's had to stand there and make a lot of saves. Each keeper's made good saves, but it wasn't a lot. But France were more clinical and they took their chances, and it's just disappointing, and it's now a lot of hard work for the girls to now get to the position they want to be in, which is ultimately at the top of the group.
High fives and hugs all round for France as Wendy Renard comes out to Mary Earps, who has come out on a pair of crutches, and she has that right foot off the ground. She is manoeuvring herself over to join in with this huddle, and I have to say there, Wendy Renard just clapped Mary Earps on the shoulder, obviously commiserating, but it knocked her out of her stride on the crutches. I'm not sure she'll thank Wendy Renard for that, but anyway, sure, there is nothing in it from the French captain other than to check that Mary Earps is okay, but not a way she wanted her 50th cap to end, not a way that England have wanted the first half of this European qualifying campaign to go. They are, make no mistake, up against it now to qualify automatically for the Euros in Switzerland next summer. It finishes England 1, France 2 here in Newcastle.
So a really tough night's work for the Lionesses. France carefully managing their way through that one to win at St James's Park. It leaves England third in Ligue A Group 3, and it makes the game on Tuesday night in St Etienne absolutely enormous for this Lionesses side. They'll have to rest up.